Hello everyone. Welcome to the stream. We are playing some Path of Exile. We are on our Witch, and we're trying the Ascension trials. This is going to be crazy for those of you who've been watching with. Oh, sorry, hit the mic cord. Some of those who've been watching with the melee classes, like the Warrior, like the Monk, I think we're going to breeze through. We'll see. I haven't played the Witch in several days, close to a week, and I'm still pretty new to Path of Exile. I'm just getting up the chat bot here, so excuse me as I'm doing kind of two things at once. But I think it's going to be pretty easy here. So, oh, looks like that might have bugged out. We'll try that one more time. Oh, maybe we're good. I will. You know what I'll do? I'll get Mrs. Haro because she's actually kindly making me a little protein mix. I bet she'll check our chat and make sure it's working all right for us. Let's clear all of that from earlier. Thank you, Mrs. Haro. All right, let's get into it. Let's get in here. So, I think our build. We'll double check and see how we look. I think we're doing okay. This is level 10. We're level 22, so maybe we should check our stash. I think I might have a bunch of witch stuff in here, unless I've already been through it, which maybe I have. Okay, here's a level 22 item. I don't know which is best. Oh, this might actually be... Oh, yeah, this is a rare that we got. Yeah, this is cool. So level 4 skeletal warrior minions, which just means you get some skeletal warriors running around, and then gain 3% chaos damage per undead minion, which can get out of control on a witch, depending on various skills. On the witch, it seems like having a bunch of minions is kind of a way to go, and I also like the idea you can modify them. Awesome, thank you, Lyriel. You're looking forward to seeing the witch? Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't think I've hardly streamed it, Lyriel, so that you might not have even missed it. It might have been that I didn't stream it. But yeah, 3% chaos damage. I like there's a modifier you can put on a skill support gem that will make them blow up whenever they die, and so that's kind of cool. The witch has pets. They're all skeletal, Lyriel. It would be really cool if you could reflavor them and have like kind of nature themed ones or what have you. But unfortunately, I don't think we can. So the 3% chaos damage there is kind of crazy. It makes us more powerful by having more minions. And so that could be, I think normally that's like a, maybe normally it's not that much damage because we have a couple of skeleton fighters. Maybe it's only like 15% extra damage, but then you can get, if you're doing trash, you can get a lot more. So I don't know. It might be time to swap this out. Level 7 skeletal warrior here. Allies in your presence gain extra fire damage, extra lightning damage, and your minions have increased maximum life. The maximum life, some of your damage scales off of your maximum life there, so that's actually more important than it might at first appear. So it looks like one of our rings here just has strength on it. We might need that for some reason. I don't know why, but vaguely in my mind that's popping in there. You know what? What do we got for our staff here? We'll check these staffs, I guess. I was about to say, you know what? Let's just jump in. Let's not worry about it. But we'll check. We'll check. Oh, yeah, here's another thing. Okay, that could definitely be deconned. These focuses might also be for witches or, I don't know, other classes similar to what we have. I don't know. All right, so I'm just going to look for a ring. This one has strength on it, and I think there might be a reason, but I might be able to find one that has strength and intelligence. This is just a little bit less than some of our other classes, but more than what we have on this one. And I am not really seeing anything actually. A lot of necklaces that would do the trick, but no rings. So I guess let's just maybe try one with intelligence. I'm sure we have at least one, right? We gotta have one with intelligence on it somewhere. Oh, here's a nice ring. Oh, never mind. That would be good for a range class. Actually, I don't know if we have a ring. Oh, I guess the increased projectiles could be okay. The increased attack speed could be good. Let's try that. Oh, yeah. So there we go. We lost the skill. Okay, so our essence drain requires a certain amount of strength. So I was remembering that correctly. Hello, guys. Welcome to the stream. Just doing the normal thing, guys. I should double check that everything's going okay over here on the live broadcast. So we've got some boots, we've got some gloves that would increase the rarity. Not really doing much else. Do we have any that are more appropriate for this character doesn't really look like it. These could be, depending. Let's see if we can upgrade those to anything that would be not really. Okay, so we might just decon most, if not all of this stuff. I'm tempted to switch out the, I think I might switch out the scepters, and we might hang on to this for a minute, but then we'll probably decon it just in case we don't seem to be doing as much damage. You know, I don't know if I just never saved any wands. I guess I didn't. I just didn't really save anything for our witch character, hardly at all.
Speak up.
All right, melt these couple of things down. And we should be good. Oh, I need to put some stuff in our stash. Okay, we got a couple of blank support gems. We got a level 6 gem. We'll just hang on to them in case we need to modify our build. Nothing is character bound. No, Lyriel, everything is. Wait, can we not go to the Trial of Ascension? I could have sworn I did everything I needed to. Wait, hold on. Okay, yeah, I have this thing. Maybe I need to go talk to somebody up here and talk about a quest. Yeah, so you can share between your characters, which has kind of been pretty helpful with... I just need to go to the desert map. It's actually been pretty helpful with like leveling up all my characters together, because if they're kind of vaguely in the same level, once everybody gets past a certain level, you can, you know, you can decon all that stuff, and so... Excuse me, with all the, you know, loot and everything else, your bags get out of control. So it's kind of a almost looter shooter vibe with how much gear you get and that you're deconning it. Yes, these are all my friends. We've got 2 skeletal warriors, we've got 2 archers, and 1. Oh, what are they? They're like they like throw explosive stuff. What are they? Arsonists. Yeah, we got 2 arsonists, which is really fun. And then, if I can remember my skills, I'm doing this partially for myself. So, Unearth will cause dead bodies to spawn skeletons, or not skeletons, to spawn these little, like, bone imps kind of thing. And they, what are their names? Oh, gosh. Yeah, this is Larry, Curly, and Mo, and then Tom and Dick. They were all white guys. They were all the average white guys in life. Hence the average white guy names. Okay, cool. So we haven't even... Yeah, okay, so we got to do the quest here.
In battle, but not in peace. I am Balbala, once a traitor, long a sorrowed prisoner. As Jinn here, I shall serve as your guide. Together, we shall prove ourselves worthy.
Okay, cool. Okay, gain some sacred water at the start of a trial. One day I will use all these. For now, I just don't care. Lyriel, they say hello as well. They just don't have tongues, so it's hard. They're hard for them to speak. Okay, so let me just go over these skills for myself as much as for everybody else out there. We've got Unearth, which will summon temporary skeletons. Oh yeah, I can also raise zombies. And then... Oh, the Bone Storm is super cool. You summon these whenever you hold it to channel it, and then you can throw them all at the same time. And they actually hit pretty hard. It's pretty cool. And then Pain Offering empowers all of our minions here. And then Essence Drain... Essence Drain or Siphon Power. One of these does something interesting. Let's read what they do. I don't remember. So, Essence Drain fires. Is this? Oh, this is the right place. Okay. Fires a projectile that applies a powerful chaos damage over time buff to enemies hit. I think one of these buttons. There we go. And then there's a projectile and does chaos damage over time. Doesn't really sound like anything crazy. What about siphoning or power siphon? Perhaps. Attempts to rift the life force from an enemy. Enemies within culling range. I think that means like lower health. Will be highlighted and instantly killed on hit. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Granting a power charge. Can only target enemies in culling range. A power charge allows us to summon like a more powerful skeleton, basically. This is going to be really interesting with these crystals. Let's just get started. This is going to be hilarious. This is fun. Necromancer. I always say it oddly, and everybody always gives me a hard time. Necromancer flavor. I wish there was a Crunchy Forest Witch too, but this is still fun. Yeah, Crunchy Forest Witch would be fun. Would be very appropriate for you too, I think. There we go. I could see you digging that. I'm not a witch. I'm your wife.
Wither away.
Right. As we get out of range, I think our guys despawn, or maybe they die from taking damage. I'm not sure. But yeah, you can see that they respawn. Cool. We summon a few there because those guys are pretty. You need a body. It doesn't matter if it's from like a fairly like low-level creature. So yeah, we'll just kill these guys because it'll be super easy. And I bet we don't lose any honor. Oh, we lost a little bit of honor there. There's a lot of AoEs going down though in my defense. All right, so we can suck some of the life force out of these guys. We can raise them as zombies. Unfortunately, they're going to die before we really have a purpose for them because some of these bodies don't last that long. Yeah, and you can see how you get quite a few going on here. You can buff them and make them faster, make them have more health and what have you. I just haven't really done too much with that because we don't have that many CP. Does your honor reach in, or once it's gone until you die? No, it's gone until you get through all of these levels to the last guy. We have to maintain our honor. We can get it back through various like shrines and what have you, depending on what comes up. But yeah, what you have is what you have. Okay, so we can see ahead. So this is going to be the next thing we go, and then we can see one beyond that. So these have some debuffs. Monsters deal 30% more damage. We do not want that. You and your minions deal 40% less damage. Again, we don't want that. Monsters have 50% increased life. That's insane. And then 90% reduced light radius on the map. So there was an update today, and this looks harder by far. So I think we want to go for the 90% reduced light radius, which is how you can discover what you discover on the map. We don't even use this map anyway, so it kind of honestly doesn't matter. So we'll just go towards the Chalice and Chalice Trial, and then our Sacred Water is what we get from this. Yeah, it is a bit tough. It's hard. It's much harder on the melee classes than the range though, so it shouldn't be too bad here. I think just the Chaos Bolt is normally what I've been doing for damage. I don't actually remember, if I'm being totally honest. Man, we are hardly doing any damage at all to this guy. You know, there might be a way on the Witch of reducing this guy's armor. You can see he's just attacking our minions. Oh, this is what I need to do. This is like a really good damaging ability. That's what I need to be doing, is using our what is it? Bone Storm? Yeah, that's where it's at. That's where all the damage comes from. Cool. So yeah, that was trivial, and I was like reading skills while doing it. Again, I just point that out because it's just so much different than what we have had to deal with some of the other ones. All right, so we'll kill these minions, and then yeah, these little like almost scorpion-like guys are what we can summon from the dead bodies. Cool. Easy done. There we go. All right, we got one more guy, I think. Maybe those two were it. Thought it tells us it's done. Oh yeah, it's done. Okay, cool. And we have lost no more honor. Cruising through on the Witch.
I would give anything for a sip.
Oh, our light radius hasn't been reduced yet. Now it will be. Oh, okay. I was messing around. Shouldn't have. That's an elite mob. Should just be running.
Wither away.
I just thought it'd be fun to grab some more minions here to help me get through the trials here. Apparently that's not the right move. Oh, a lot of these guys seem like they have additional powers. They're like the kind of more elite mobs. I think it's a bit hard to tell, if I'm being totally honest. Hey, there we go. Guess we can go back and get all this sacred water. Oh, did someone come after me? Oh yeah, they did. Okay. Summoning skeletons from all this. Easy done. We've lost about 100 honor, but honestly, mostly because we've been messing around and killing things just because we can. Grab our bronze key. Oh, okay, so we already got a merchant coming up. Awards the shrine that greatly restores honor and burdens you with an affliction. And it's black smoke. You can see one fewer rooms ahead on the mini map, or on this the trial map, I guess that's what this is called. Cool. Well, no big deal. It's not really going to matter for us too much, I don't think. We're getting the merchant a little early. Oh, okay. Well, our guys want to go this way. Let's go this way. This is going to be ridiculous. I should be summoning skeletons from these guys, and I'm accidentally, just because they're more high value minions, and I'm not, so that's kind of my bad there. I took damage there. Shouldn't be taking any damage at all. So cool. It's hard to even see what there is to fight on the map because I've got so many guys going here. Right. Well, we barely made it through that. That was tough. I think we might have one other class that we need to do this on, so maybe we'll do that after if we get this done in like record time. Cool. And our honor is full now. We're up to full honor, getting the shrine here. Afflictions on are unknown on the trial map. You can see one fewer, and our light radius is reduced. Nothing horrible right now, so not too bad. This is like our fourth crystal where we just have to run and touch the crystals. Maybe our third. It makes this whole thing really easy. Further south here. I don't know if our minions I don't know what happens to our minions once they go off the screen. I kind of feel like they despawn, but it could just be that I mean, maybe they don't. I don't know. Maybe they just die, but it does feel like they kind of despawn and then respawn next to me whenever I have the resources for it. Cool. Easy enough.
Greetings.
See what we get here. All right, so we don't have very much sacred water, unfortunately. We've got 460. We have double that like later on in the trial. Of course, which makes sense, I guess. Monsters have, oh man, 30% less maximum life. We're almost definitely going to take that. We've got a 17% increase in maximum honor, a 6% reduced merchant prices. So later on, you do multiple floors. This whole map is considered to be one floor. So things like this could be more useful later on. But for now, I think we just go with monsters have 30% less life, which includes the end boss, I believe. At least that's my understanding, so that's pretty awesome. Cool, so it doesn't really matter here because we don't know what does what. So we're flying blind as far as picking various trials. Get some zombies going here. You have to be careful we don't get hit by stuff falling from the ceiling. Oh yeah. So this guy has some little guys with him, so we can just turn those into even more skeletons and more zombies and everything else. So gonna make all this pretty chill. Oh, is it only one? There's only one here? That's crazy. Okay. Maybe they realized it wasn't going to be a challenge for us no matter what, so they just made it easy. All right, so we can choose a pledge. It's usually a kiss and a curse here, so it would be something that is beneficial and then something that's not. So remove purple smoke, afflictions are unknown in the trial. Okay, so it removes our debuff is a good thing. Harefoot, 40% increased movement speed, but we gain 25% less maximum honor. I mean, I actually kind of like this. Although 40% is crazy and could be so fast that we have problems. Low rivers, 50% less sacred water found. I mean, I think we got to go with this one here, the Harefoot, just because it's fun. All right, we are fast. So we can do an escape trial. No, it's 2 escape trials, so we're doing that either way. One awards a large amount of sacred water. The other one awards us a bronze key. We can trade our sacred water later on at the end of the level for keys. So maybe we'll try that in hopes we can get like a silver or a gold key with our sacred water. I don't know if that'll work. We're doing another escape. Like, these are really easy. These just run from one crystal to another. And now we're 40% faster, so this is going to be crazy easy. We're zooming. We're zooming now. I like it. Oh my gosh, this is fun and easy. I like being this fast. Later on in the game, I would love for all my characters to be this fast. We'll be looking for speed boost, for quality of life, if nothing else. Ooh. All right, we're almost done. We're already almost done. Cool. Our skeletons just came back, so that's cool. We can actually hold out here and take on any mobs that come. Grab some sacred water. Is anybody else going to come? That's it. Nobody else is coming. All right, bummer. Yeah, we're 10 honor down. So going into the boss fight. You know what we should do though? We have a few things here. We should teleport back to town and decon all of our stuff so that we have room. So much stuff drops, and the last room has been a little buggy unless they patched it, that I just don't want to like get a bunch of cool swag and have to drop half of it.
How can I advise?
Because we don't have room in our bags. I am still a bit of a pack rat. I imagine as the game goes on, I will understand more what is important to grab and what isn't, and I'll probably be saving less stuff. But for now, we're just going to be a pack rat. Cool, and I don't think we can go back still via the teleportation. We have to go to the, well, a different teleportation, I guess, to get back into the trial. Can't just take our portal back like you normally can. I assume there's a reason for this, either as a workaround for something right now, or because otherwise you could, I don't know, maybe there's some bug or something that they haven't some exploit or something. We're to the boss. How long we been going? We've been going for 25 minutes. And I was chatting for like half of that. Maybe not half of it. I was chatting for at least 5 minutes of it, though. All right.
Formidable rock challenges me.
Oh no, I think it's going to kill all of our skeletons. No! Actually, some of them survived. That's cool. I really like this channeled ability where you're throwing all these daggers and everything. And it's kind of fun because like the bigger a creature is, I think the easier it is. At least it feels like to hit them with all of them. Yeah, I mean he's half health. We're almost done here. We've barely taken any honor. Took a little bit of damage there, but honestly, that's just because it doesn't even matter because I know we're about to like, you know, win this, or we're about to take him out, so it doesn't really, I don't think there's any chance that, unless I get one hit because I'm messing around. Yeah, we're done. Okay, so we lost almost no honor. Probably could have done it losing no honor. Wasn't trying, was looking at skills. That's the difference between a melee and a non-melee class. But it's a ton of fun. Still fun. Just something that early access kind of needs to be fixed. Interact to choose your ascendancy. Oh, I don't even remember. I don't even know what these are. Okay, Infernalist or a Blood Mage. Interesting. So does one of these let you turn into like a demon? Is that what one of these does? Or is that like something else that I didn't choose? I thought it was a witch that did that. Skill grants life remnants. What is that? Drinks the blood of your enemies to restore your life, while active enemies you kill have a chance to spawn a life remnant, and critically hitting a target spawns a life remnant every few seconds. Picking up a life remnant grants you life. Okay, cool. It can overflow your maximum life. Okay, cool. That's pretty big. So a lot of leeching, a lot of life drain stuff over here. I don't know that we really need that. What does the Infernalist do? I mean, I assume a lot of flame damage? Whoa, okay, Pyromatic Pact. This is a lot. Maximum mana is replaced by maximum Infernal Flame. Gain Infernal Flame instead of spending mana for skill cost. Take maximum life and energy shield as fire damage when the Infernal Flame reaches maximum. Lose all Infernal Flame on reaching maximum Infernal Flame. 10% of Infernal Flame lost per second if none was gained in the past 2 seconds. Okay. So... oh, yeah, here it is. Demon form. Okay, cool. Grants demon form. I mean, I kind of feel like we want to go Blood Mage then. I didn't necessarily want to go the whole demon way. You turn into like a... I think it's like a succubus is kind of what you turn into. The playstyle seems really interesting and seems kind of crazy. I didn't know that they were... I wasn't really intent on having like flame damage either. Reserve 20%. Reserves 25% of life, +1 to maximum spirit per 25 maximum life. Spirit is what allows you to have more minions. There's a lot of like survival stuff over here in the Blood Mage tree. Your curses have infinite duration. Okay. That's actually pretty cool. There's also something that will allow you to like twin, like you can have multiple instances of the same curse, I guess, to like life leech somebody. 10% of spell damage leeched as life. Increase critical hit chance, with spells. I don't know. I'm not not being, you know, strongly pulled one way or another. I mean, the curses is fine. I don't really, I feel like this is almost like a survival build kind of thing. Gain energy shield from equipped body armor is extra maximum life. I don't know. We might be going Infernalist just because 10% of spell damage leached as life. I mean, this is just all survival stuff, but if we have a bunch of minions, then why do we need any of that? Inquiring minds want to know. I guess... Do we need to start doing fire damage? So altered flesh, 20% of cold damage taken as fire damage, 20% of lightning damage taken as fire damage, 20% physical damage taken as chaos damage. I wonder if this is for resistances so we can like keep ourselves alive easier. It does give us more spirit. Reservation effects prevent a portion of a giving resource, usually spirit, though it can be life or mana, from being used for other purposes while active. Okay. So I think with doing the Infernalist and like when we're transformed to like our demon form, I think that we take damage. Maybe. I think we're gonna go with Infernalist. I think that's what we're gonna have to do. Do we look any different?
They burned
Not yet.
many a sister. They tried to burn me. I think now I shall pay it forward.
Okay.
It
Cool.
is done. You are no longer a Jingak.
We are no longer a
You
Jingak.
now carry with you the spirit of a Maraketh Dekara. I am finally free, but I find I do not wish to rest just
All right,
yet.
she's gonna help. We've heard this a
should
few
be
times, so
nothing.
pardon me if we skip through. Cool. All right.
We will
Let's.
succeed.
A key forge converts leftover sacred water to keys. Okay, cool. So we can just see what we get here. We had one bronze key. Do you get a gold key upon completion? Okay, we have probably one
I
gold
think
key.
not.
Yeah. All right, we had one bronze, one gold. That's funny. And we don't have room for anything. We got a bunch of gold items from that last boss, which is pretty cool. All right, I guess we'll identify some stuff and just see what we got here. Got a gold crossbow with a spot in it, with a slot. So 80% increased physical damage, 1 to 23 lightning damage, +3 level to all projectile skills, and +6 to dexterity. And it's got a slot in it. That's crazy. We're definitely going to be using that. Loads an additional bolt, so we'll use that on our mercenary. We also got a quarterstaff that looks really hooked up. +13 dexterity, +14 intelligence, 65% increased physical damage, and 1 to 25 lightning damage. Wow, those are hooked up. Okay. So we got multiple items from that. That's crazy from that boss that dropped. I don't know if they increased those or if we just got lucky, but we'll take it. And then we've got some relic. This is going to be something like lame. Oh, we have our stash here, I think. Can we just go put stuff in our stash? Yeah, we can. Okay, there we go. All right, well, we'll store both these items for some of our other characters. That's awesome. And then grab the rest here. All right. Well, we're done with the Lich. Let's, I guess, port back. And, it just takes us to the beginning here. Yeah, we'll just port back to our caravan. Decon what we got so that our inventory is cleared out for next time, and then we'll hop over real quick. So we'll just take a second here, just a little housekeeping. +1 to all melee skills. If this only had, increased rarity of drops, I would go for it. Unfortunately, it does not. Anything on the head? Nah. Nothing that interesting with the rest of this. There's our salvage bench.
Can't do that here.
Oh, I should have put some of these items in there. Since there's like a stash specifically for that trial. That's okay. I'll just put it in here for now. Get out of our inventory. Wow, crazy. Okay, yeah, exit to character selection. So we've done our Chronomancer, we've done our warrior. So this is a sorcerer, rather. The turned into a Chronomancer. Our warrior turned into a Titan. Our witch has turned into an Infernalist. Our mercenary is, I guess, ready to go. Maybe it says he's in a mine. Maybe he's not ready yet. We've got our ranger turned into a pathfinder, and our monk turned into an acolyte of, I want to say Chihuahua, but Cholula. Cholula? We're going to go with Cholula. And then, so we just have our mercenary left. And actually, I'm like worried that maybe I was stuck at the fight to unlock it. I'm not really sure. Huh. Let me see. I think you get... Oh, no, we're not quite ready on our mercenary. Well, I guess we're playing on our mercenary a bit. If I can remember what we were doing at all. So, oh, it didn't reset the map or anything. Okay. Cool. But does that help us... help tell us what we should be doing? I'm guessing we were going through here and maybe we died or something last time. I thought these maps were resetting. You know what I was doing on the mercenary is I was just like running through, dropping the explosive grenades, and then most things just like die to that. So we have mercenary's a little bit interesting play. So you load, so that's armor piercing rounds there. Yeah, okay. And then we have the fragmentation rounds, which are for AoE, I think. Yeah, there we go. And then there's also high velocity rounds. So I think basically like the fragmentation rounds are what we're using for our AoE, the high velocities, and then switching to other, okay, I just have it double bound. I don't know what I was thinking. Armor piercing rounds, okay. So armor piercing rounds to reduce their armor, and then I think we switch to the high velocity rounds for like single target damage on bosses. And I think that's literally all I was doing, and I don't think I really needed to do anything else. There are other things you can do. So the fragmentation rounds will do more damage, I think, against frozen targets, and there are probably some other things you can do there as well. You can kind of see, though, how you just kind of hit one button and everything dies for the most part. Oh, unless you get stuck, in which case you might be out of luck. Maybe that's what I was doing. Maybe that was the problem I had. Because on earlier levels, I was just literally just running through, just like dropping it and just keep going. I think this mercenary probably could use some love. I don't think that they're probably super optimal right now. I was trying a few different things. I like the idea of the fragmentation rounds, but I don't think I knew that, like at first, like the freezing opponents, I was trying not to, just because I don't know why the mercenaries freezing. They're not really like, it's not like they're particularly a reason why you would think, oh, mercenary, yeah, they should be using ice damage or whatever. So I'm kind of going for like thematic type stuff. But oh, we got a boss there. Okay, well, or something. It's a little odd getting used to the mercenary here. Oh, that's not a boss. Those guys just do that. Okay. I just don't remember seeing these guys. Oh, I'm just getting stuck. This is the thing that everybody was kind of complaining about. I didn't think it was too bad, but sometimes you can get too many mobs and get stuck. I don't really like these fire bombs at all. They're just not that fun to me. Just kind of whatever. The idea of the fragmentation rounds, though, always sounded kind of fun. There we go. I just need to be able to use our explosive grenades better.
Here it comes!
Oh, this guy's also shooting out explosive grenades. I was thinking those were mine. All right, nothing else here. Have to. Hey, Leonard, what's going on, man? How you doing? How's hell diving? Nope, this doesn't go anywhere. I think that there is a support skill that you can, or modifier or whatever you can slot in that will allow you to have multiple instances, like double your instances, but also like double the cooldown. So basically you can have more burst damage. And I think that would work really well for these explosive grenades on some of this trash. So I think maybe there's a cooldown, and I think also like 3 instances is the most you can have.
Need a sec. Here it comes! Gotta stay quick on my feet.
Maybe we need to go back and kind of decon some of this stuff. Maybe we'll do that here if we're at a dead end. Yeah, we are. Okay. Cool. We'll go decon some stuff real quick. The person that we need to meet is that Jinn, who's our guide in the trial, but we have to free her. She's been imprisoned because of something she did. But she's been in prison so long that she's kind of pissed off about it. Seems like understandable. She basically was put in there and then kind of left to rot. So she gets mad at us whenever we meet her, and so we have to fight her. Interesting. Allies in your presence have 15% increased critical hit chance. Awesome, man. It's good to hear. Just get rid of the rest of this stuff. Level 6 volatile dead. Oh yeah, that explodes corpses. I think this could be a really fun skill, but we're not really doing anything with it right now. I should have checked. I'll need to make sure I do that on our witch next time to make sure there's nothing that is cool. Checking to make sure you can't like purchase something that's better than what you have is kind of a good idea with this oftentimes. Found some really good items that way. And since it's all kind of just RNG down the line. So our current crossbow does 16 to 39 damage. 77% increased physical damage. Okay, and probably our fragmentation rounds do physical damage. Accuracy and then attack speed. This just is pretty basic, but it's just +3 levels to all projectile skills, which is a decent amount of damage. And then we got a ring with a little bit of lightning resistance on it. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go to our stash. We're going to put all this stuff in there, of course. All of our swag that we've collected. I need to do some of this jewelry. It's getting a little out of control. Apparently I'm a bit of a pack rat. But let's see if we could enchant this. See if it does 5 to 11 fire damage. Oh. So that's going to bring the damage actually above what we have right now. Plus the +3 levels to all projectile skills. I actually think it's like worth. Can we not? Oh, do we gotta use one of these? Okay. It gives us some accuracy. I think this would end up being a better weapon. I don't know if all of our high velocity is also I'm downloading an extension that puts cats on every YouTube thumbnail. That sounds fun. So I think most of our damage might be physical with like high velocity rounds. I don't know why this wouldn't be physical. Yeah, physical. Okay. And then our fragmentation rounds here. Projectile, does it say? Yeah, physical. Okay. Cool. Bolts hit with an ice crystal, cause it to explode. Yeah. Okay, so most of our damage, I think, is then going to be physical damage. I don't know. Let's see if we swap these out. See what our damage. Yeah, so our damage goes up significantly, and I think it's just because the higher level there. So I think we will go ahead and swap these out, even though it's not a golded item. This is also, yeah, level 10, and this is level 16, so fair difference there. So we'll melt it down.
Stay inside.
We have a lot of level 5 uncut skill gems that we're not using for anything. I wonder if we can improve some of our skills, or if we just haven't bothered. Yeah, here we go. Galvanic. Yeah, so we got a bunch of skills that I just haven't, I don't think I've bothered. There's a lot of ice skills, which I was surprised about. I didn't know why there were ice skills. There's a lot of grenade skills. I would say that probably the mercenary here is probably my least favorite class, and there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't think it's my thing. I just don't think I really care. So nothing wrong with it. It's just the flavor for me isn't quite there. So I think we're good. I think we'll head back, and keep killing stuff. I have a cute little rabbit that's jumping on a chair, but I've had to train her that she can't get treats. I have to teach her to come back to the ground. So let me just give her a treat here. We're struggling, and I'm almost knocking over the the green screen behind me. All right, treats have been given. The bun gods are hopefully appeased. I don't have as easy of a way of detaching my camera anymore because I'm using a different camera with a new and improved setup. So I'm sorry I can't show you guys any cute pictures of the buns. One day we'll get there.
Not yet.
It's cool with all these like projectile weapons that have like a high spread on them, that they make it where if you get close enough where you hit someone with all of the arrows, like they take all the damage. And so even though something is AoE, if you use it correctly, or if you can use it, you know, in an appropriate way, that you still get good single target damage with it. I know it's just kind of a function of the way the game plays, but I like the choice and I like how it works, so that it still feels a little bit earned, like, hey, I'm having to work for this damage or whatever, but at the same time, it has the flexibility that I think is also really convenient and nice to have. Excuse me. Don't want to run over. I'm always worried about these little guys, all of our little rabbits. Fragile creatures.
Fire in the hole! Need a sec. Outstanding. Need more time.
Should see what support skills I have slotted here. Because it would be nice. It would help things go along a little bit quicker, even if the cooldown was reduced. If I could cast twice as many of those guys. Oh, here we go. We got a little bit of an elite mob of some sort.
Need a sec.
Ooh, gotta be careful. Is he empowering all the other mobs around him? I think he might be. So we're trying to break his shield here. Oh, I'm like not even shooting at him.
Need more time.
Or trying to break his armor, and not his shield.
Simple enough.
Yeah, there we go. And then we'll go with the bigger single target damage. I do like how you load different kinds of ammo here. So you, when you hear him do that, he's like switching kinds of ammo. And then whatever you do with your primary attack button, you know, just varies. It changes based on what that is. So that's kind of cool. I do like the playstyle. It's just literally is just the flavor that I don't really care for. Honestly, if they would have flavored this as like a vampire hunter type thing or something, which not that that's thematically appropriate for the world, but I think some other flavoring. Ah, here we go. We're where we need to be. Would have convinced me that I would enjoy this class a little bit more. Oh, this isn't even the right person. We got to go to a different floor. But that's okay. We'll get there. So we're just trying to take her armor down. Oh. Oh no. This thing will like one-shot me on some other characters. Yeah, there we go. And can be a bit tricky. Alright, I don't know if there's like a limit to how much armor you can take out at a given time, but it does seem like at some point I'm not really doing that much and should just swap to the bigger single target damage. So that's what we're going to do. Oh no. It's like dubstep. You got to wait a little bit longer than you think for that one.
Need more time.
Shut your mouth, traitor! Stand still. Hold this. Relax. It's coming. Die, die, die!
Oh no. I gotta get my roll dodge game on. I feel like I'm playing Dark Souls. Get my roll dodge game going.
You insane? Slow down. Breathe it in.
Oh, you know what? It could be that they're not hitting because I'm too far away too. My accuracy might not be high enough. It kind of looks like it's hitting. You just gotta like burn her down before she one-shots you, apparently.
Iron, flesh, and bones. Insane? Perhaps that is true. Blinding. Eye of the sun.
There we go. Oh, we got one more. Oh my god. If I can get through that part, I could probably get through this.
Perhaps that is true.
Maybe, oh, you know what? The trick might be to stay close to her? I don't know. Some of it is.
Insane? I'll show you insane. Burn, oppressors!
fire is no joke.
Stand still. Explode. Breathe it in. Burn, oppressors.
It's tough. All right, we'll try close this time.
Insane. Shut your mouth, traitor. Burn, burn, burn. Slow down. Hold this. I am the sun. Breathe it in. Burn, oppressor.
All right, she CC'd. But we're still going to have to dodge that melee attack at some point. Or maybe she doesn't. Oh, maybe she just does that when you're too far away. Okay, so maybe this is the trick. Oh, no, she's still going to do it. We need more damage. Let's see if we can get some more damage here. Okay, so arm piercing rounds, increase the attack speed just so that we can hit them, put more high velocity, have a chance to poison, more physical damage, don't do any elemental damage. Do we have any elemental damage on this? We do. So I guess it's reducing that. Maybe we want to take that off, or maybe it doesn't matter. And then what else we have? So on our explosive grenades, it doesn't really matter. But just to see we have extra fire damage, looks like. Herald of Thunder, that's like a passive ability. I mean, some of these we could upgrade so that they're one level higher, like the armor piercing. I mean, pretty much everything. I guess we can do it since we have them. Not really using the I wonder if the fragmentation rounds would do more than our like high velocity rounds. It's hard to tell because you do like a ton of these. Let's just see what happens here.
She's insane.
Insane? Perhaps that is true. Stand still.
Oh no. Didn't even see it coming.
Sand and steel.
She's insane.
Insane? I'll show you insane. Breathe it in. Burn, oppressors! Die!
There we go. See Cedar. Okay. Got lucky there. Oh, she's gonna wake up and come to and keep doing it. All right, cool. We survived one round, partially because we CC'd her, but you know, we'll take it. Oh no.
Slow down.
Okay, let's
Burn, oppressors!
try to see how much damage. I mean, it looks like it does a pretty good amount of damage. Does a decent amount to CC her. Nah, I don't know. They look like they do about the same. As far as I could tell. Dodged way too early. Hey, Jenny, how's it going? Doing well, doing well. Dying over and over again on this boss, but other than that, doing well. How about yourself? I need to get my Dark Souls dodging on. Oh no, that was too early again. Ah! Oh,
Sand and
man.
Fire and iron. Flesh.
Insane? I'll show you insane! Fire in the hole!
Explode. Breathe it in.
Eye of the sun!
I can't get one of those attacks off. I'm not quite fast enough. But we did get the CC going, so that's good. Now if we can just put some good damage on. That's a weird question to jump into chat and ask.
For the king!
Oh. No.
Sand and steel. Fire and iron. Flesh and bone.
Insane? I'll show you insane! Breathe it in! Blinding!
I wonder if that blinding attack reduces your like your accuracy. That'd be interesting.
Die, die!
Oh no.
Sand and steel. Fire and iron. Flesh and bone. What is the difference?
Help me!
Face off.
She's insane!
Need a sec.
Help me! She's insane!
Insane? I'll show you insane!
Slow down.
Burn the pressers!
Oh my gosh.
Sand and steel. Fire and iron. Flesh and bone. What is the difference? Face of Faradun. Mind of a traitor. Serpent's tongue. Scorpion stinger.
She's insane! Help me! She's insane!
Insane.
Oh no. It's a bug. There it
That
goes.
is true. Blinding. Burn, burn, burn.
Oh no.
Slow down.
Trying to get the. Oh, there it goes. Oh no. Oh man.
Sand and steel. Fire and iron.
She's insane!
Insane.
I'll show you insane!
Flash.
Okay. Burn the pressers!
She's coming!
For the king!
Woo! Alright, there we go. We got through one. Alright, and she CC now, cool.
Burn the pressers! Die!
Oh no. Oh no, no! Ah! Again. Killing me.
Sand and steel. Fire and iron. Flesh and bone. What is the difference?
Help me!
Face of
She's insane!
insane. Ha! Perhaps that is true.
Deep breath!
Burn, burn. Breathe it in.
She's coming!
Okay, cool. CC'd her. One more. Oh my gosh, how many more? Alright. Try to take some of our armor down again. I don't know if there's like a limit to it or what, but it just seems like it only does so much.
Stand still! I am the sun! Burn! Burn! Ah!
Stand still.
For the Faradun!
Oh no! Ah. Alright, we'll give this a couple more tries.
Iron, flesh, and bone.
Insane? Perhaps that is true.
Right in the eye! Burn, oppressors!
Hold this.
Oh no. Ah, I got freaking burned to death. Jeez. You'd think I'd be better at this fight by now.
Flesh and bone.
Insane?
Shut your mouth, traitor!
Stand still.
Oh, there we go. Sucks that it just one-shot you. It doesn't always fall at the exact same time, which is nice. Like that's what it should happen. But I'm just not very good at timing it just yet. Oh, didn't even see it coming that time. They do a good job of randomizing the mechanics to make the fights like truly difficult.
Insane?
Shut your mouth, traitor! Not today! Die!
Oh, there we go. Right off the bat. Ah, it's a small window to like dodge in.
And iron, flesh and bone. What is the difference? Help me! She's insane! Insane?
Shut your mouth, traitor! Burn, oppressors! Need more time.
No. Shouldn't have thrown out the potion bottles. They take too long. The grenades, I guess. As the case may be.
Insane?
I'll show you insane.
One more time. Oh my gosh. I guess that hits you even if you're dodging. 'Cause that's rough.
Breathe it in!
Burn, oppressors! For the Faradun! Precise and deadly!
Oh man. What up, dude? What up, Daedric? How you doing, man?
Insane?
Shut your mouth, traitor!
Dude, we're doing real good on this boss. Doing real good. No problems whatsoever.
Smells down!
For the Faradun!
Oh, doing it early.
Insane?
I'll show you insane!
Oh, thank goodness she got stuck. This will be the one I clear on. I just need to wait for the game to glitch out, you know? That's the trick. Just do it enough times that the game freaks out. Oh no. Okay, cool, I got her. Come on! Oh no. I'm so scared of that. No!
Insane? Perhaps that is true. Explode! Burn, oppressors!
Okay. I don't know if we're getting better, guys. Not convinced.
Insane? I'll show you insane! Burn, burn, burn! Stand still! Breathe it in! Eye of the sun! Burn, burn, burn! Not today! Burn, burn, burn!
Oh, she even tells you to run. You're just supposed to be like far away, I guess. Oh, jeez. That is not easy to deal with. Some weird character-like movement too.
Die, die, die!
Oh. Run! Oh no, please don't hit me. Oh, thank God. Okay. That's what you gotta do, guys. You just gotta beg the monster the mob not to hit you. That's all you gotta do.
Deep breath. Slow down.
Come on, don't. Oh God.
Breathe it in.
Should be easy, right? Oh my God. Ah, I love this fucking game. If you want to cheese it, hold damage when you stun. It's like 95% built, then laser when he starts running and easy skip. Okay, I think I'm following that.
Insane? I'll show you insane. Burn, burn, burn. Die, die, die!
Oh, there we go. Oh no. I kind of just want to get good though, you know? That's fair, right?
Insane? Perhaps that is true. Deep breath. Sand and steel. Fire and iron. Flesh insane. Shut your mouth, traitor! Burn, burn! Slow down! Blind! Deep breath! Eye of the sun!
She's coming.
Die, die, die!
It's kind of what's accidentally happening here too. Woo. Jeez.
Precise and deadly.
All right, let's not die at like 5% health this time. If if you roll through her, sometimes she takes longer to turn. To be fair, interrupting annoying mechs and stun does require getting good. That's fair. That's fair.
Shut your mouth, traitor!
I just love how it changes, like depending on how far she has to reach. I like how that changes how difficult and I guess when you need to roll and everything else. And so it's just like a really fun mechanic, I feel like. But you raise a fair point. Did a little column A, little column B there, I guess. It just seems like it's really hard. Like, I haven't seen her armor go down all the way unless they change the way the icons work or I'm reading them wrong or something. Because I thought that the armor would go all the way away. And I don't know. Maybe it's just this boss. I don't know. Oh, hey. That was an accident. I did not mean to do that, but I'll take it. Whoa! Yeah, that sometimes it's super fast and sometimes it's super slow. Oh, I love it. It's really hard. I love it. All right. Oh no. No, stay away from me. No! Ah! Ah! Did I kill her and die? Ah! Does that count? Oh my gosh. This happened before. You don't get a loot. Okay, well, I got through it.
Quickly, break them. Winds praise you. 1,000 praises, my friend. I thought I would die here. Please take me back to your caravan, and I will tell you anything you want to know.
I should charge for this.
All right. We should go. Oh yeah, we should pour it back now. Draws are what game masters get.
How can I be of help? Do whatever it takes.
What?
It is funny that if you like, you know, draw, if you both die or whatever, that I do find it kind of funny that the end result is that you get through it, but you don't get any loot. It feels appropriately punishing.
I will tell your tale.
Who goes there? You may trade with. No need to rush.
Should have looked over here before I worked on this thing, because yeah, like this looks decent. It's even got a slot in there. Although, you know, probably, and this is going to be hilarious if I do this after I've cleared this, but I think putting a slot or two on that is probably going to up the damage would be pretty nice. Do that with these things, I think, the Artificer's Orbs. Yeah, can I do that? And is there physical damage here? Stun build up. There we go, physical damage. Oh, leeches. Okay, never mind. These are all like fancy ones. There we go. Iron. Don't have a ton of them, but I'm willing to do that for a better weapon. All right. And then I think I also need to make sure that our high velocity rounds it'd be better to slot something else in there. Let's see if we have anything in our stash, maybe. I wish these gems down here would be a little bit... Oh, you can tell it. Support? There we go. What do we got here? Jagged ground, more freeze build up. Ancestral boost, that's for warrior, more freeze build up. Extra damage is cold, so we don't really have anything amazing. Maybe we'll grab an spec one and let's see if we can find something useful. So that's for our high velocity, I think. Was overpowered, do more stun build up. And support crossbow attacks have 24% chance not to consume a bolt. So then you can, I guess, fire it more rapidly. Or avoid the reload time. I mean, that doesn't seem bad. Let's see what else we can find though. More projectile speed. I don't think we need it. More damage. Can put 2 slots on crossbows. Do you think it's like wasteful, or should I just do it to like? I was just thinking of like saving resources a bit. Was all, Daedric. That's all I was thinking. More poison. That's the brutality that thing already had. More shock. Can chain. If you're scrapping gear from 4 artificer orbs, you'll get plenty, so go for it. Oh, okay, cool, cool. And the runes, it seems like runes also drop pretty well. Let me see what else got. Yeah, a lot of stuff, energy barrier, none of this stuff's going to be particularly useful. Oh! The execute. 40% more damage against enemies with low health. Although, what is low? 35%. I mean, the execute on that is actually pretty cool. I am using it just as a boss thing. We might go with execute. We'll see. Life drain. That's interesting. Don't really need it. Life drain, though, some of the stuff could be useful on the warrior. Ignition. Support skills have 100% chance of igniting. Daedric says, yeah, plus they're extremely cheap once you have currency exchange. So you could do the dumbest things and be fine. Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, good to know. Support skills. Okay, pin just like slows them down as opposed to like building up stun. Blasting shock. Support skills have 100% increased shock duration. Lightning infusion. Yeah, this is all kind of the same. I mean, I could just go with some elemental damage type. What do I already have on here? So it already has fire damage. Guess that would be fine. Do some extra fire damage. Where is that? But maybe there's something better. So let's see what we got. Yeah, I think where was it? Where were we at? I think I was just looking at like lightning infusion. Yeah, that must be it. Overpower. So 40% more damage, but only at 35% health. So what's the expected? What's the average damage overall increase on that would be? I don't know. What's point? Let me see. It's 0.4 times 0.335. I'm struggling to do that in my head right now. I should be able to do that. We're just going to use a calculator, though. %, increased damage. Yeah, so it'd be much better to do something else. Although, so it's 40% overall, you know, essentially, if we averaged it out, it'd be a 40% increase in damage. So obviously the 25% are better, but it is an execute, which oftentimes it seems like they have increased mechanics. So I'm tempted to say that's better, but maybe since we already have fire damage, we just lean into that. Light them on fire. Where is fire damage? Of course, I don't know what the difference is on the. I want to know the exact numbers. Like this ammo conservation could be really good as well. I guess we can just search fire here. Hey, that'll be a lot easier. Does it not? Oh, fire. Oh, do I already have fire infusion on it? Oh, I already have fire infusion. Must be slotted. Oh, probably on my. Okay, so I could just do a different kind of damage if we wanted. Do lightning or cold. I think lightning has more of a chance to chain, but if we do cold, maybe we can also get a freeze on our opponent. I don't know if freeze and stun kind of build up together or what, but we'll just do that. Doesn't really matter that much. And then I guess we can... I'm not sure I was married to this either. I like the accuracy. I mean, the +3 levels for projectiles is pretty good. The base damage isn't as high as I would love, you know? So, I might just leave it here for now. If it's doing enough, it's doing enough. Because I feel like we might end up with something else. All right, so, I don't know. Maybe we need to go like one more level down or something. Or did I need to talk to somebody? Maybe I need to talk to somebody for a quest here. After this. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. I've done this like 6 times. You'd think I'd remember. But yeah, maybe I wasn't actually at the right location on this character. I wasn't quite as ready to do this as I thought I was. Yeah, okay, cool.
This Balbalak. I am a Sala. Remain a friend to the Ardura, and you shall have nothing but respect. I am a Sala. Remain a friend. Move swiftly.
I know what jam. The Halani gates are closed, but there is. Farewell.
So, the hours let us. I am a Sala. Remain a friend.
Oops. All right,
for
there we go.
glory.
Okay, so I assume she's going to tell us to go to the mines or something, or we're already in the mines and we just need to keep going. Oh no, we got to go over here first. Go, Trader's Passage. There it goes.
I hear movement in the dark. Lots of movement.
Back, face! Need a sec.
I feel like I could use a bigger health, like life flask at this point.
Well, that's one down. All these statues still just.
It's a very hey, I already did the witch, man. Were you not here? Did you miss all the witch action? I did the witch thing in like 20 minutes. Like it was as easy as I thought it would be on the witch. And then I jumped over to this one just because it's the last character that I haven't done the Ascension on. And I just, you know, realized that I wasn't as far along as I thought I was. Just making fun. All right, all right. Give me a hard time, man. Yeah, also this isn't a gun, okay? This is definitely still a crossbow. It just sounds like a gun and acts like a gun, but it's definitely not a gun. I don't know why they didn't. I feel like it was a joke or something. Why this guy isn't just like it's not just shooting guns, or maybe people would have given a hard time. Like, why isn't everybody using a gun?
Need more time.
In which you use magic to make it gunpowder propelled. Yeah. I've heard them mention like joke, like, oh yeah, because there's no guns in in PoE. But I didn't really understand what the joke was, or if that's like long-standing from like PoE 1. Oh, might actually have to pay attention here. Woo, as I aggro everything.
More time.
Daedric, would you agree with me? I think that the mercenary here, at least at like this point, like lower levels or whatever, is like the most. It clearly feels like one of the newer classes, and I feel like maybe one of the ones the developers like, because it feels when you have everything at like high levels, and if you lean into the build and you go with more of these potions and whatever, on lower level maps, I just run through and like drop these potions and just like on open maps, and you can just run through. It just feels like the most optimized, the most like set up to actually like run through the maps in here. Or maybe that's just me, and maybe it's everybody eventually, but that's just how it feels to me.
Need a sec.
The toolkit feels a little too fine-tuned.
Need more time.
Single target arrows. What are you doing? There we go. It's the one actual new class so far. The others existed. Oh, really? Okay. I thought it was. I didn't realize it was the only new class. That explains it. Some of the ascendancies are unique. Oh, okay. I'm gonna be honest. I thought the classes were new. I thought these were the new classes. And then it was the ones that aren't in yet that were not new. But okay, that makes sense.
Not yet.
Why it feels so much more tuned to the content. I mean, I say that. I guess the sword, like plenty of the range classes, are totally fine.
Need more time.
I chose the demon ascendancy on the witch. The blood thing kind of didn't seem like it was that interesting. The like draining life and everything. I was like, I don't know why my witch needs life. I'm mostly just sending my minions in to kill everything, so it's unclear on why that was even needed. I feel like the Sork was accidental OP due to skill interactions, and Mercenary was designed to be strong. Yeah, okay, that's fair. And if the trials weren't dumb with the trying to, no hit, take no damage sort of things, I would have no problem with any of them. Hey, here we go. So we're going up to the gates. Is it after this that we unlock the Ascendancy? I had a long ways to go, apparently, on this character. Sorry, guys. I just don't really enjoy it, so maybe I just hadn't been playing it and hadn't been thinking about it.
Someone's fighting up ahead.
I feel like the Sork, I'm sorry, the making Sanctum a required point of progression was pretty bold in the way they, in a way that Supreme Cheeto is bold. I mean, I like that it's required. I just think that the mechanics of it are like pretty bad, honestly. Like, take no damage. Many of the trials, like where you just go and touch the crystals, they're just trivial. You just run through. And then the trials where you can kill the monsters to reduce the time you have to be there alive, like the meta is just on melee classes is just to run around and not do anything. So it's weird that there's like 3 different trials that, parts of the trial that you just the meta is to like run away from, depending on what class or what setup you got going on. Just kind of seems pointless, and like a bad idea to me. But you know, what do I know? It just I just hope that they're like half baked and that they were rushing to get things out and they go back and revisit them or do something different. Because as it stands, it's kind of like it's not great. I mean, the game's still fun, but it's just like they could do any number of other things and it would still be fun. But like, don't play the game. Just run around. You know, don't do damage. Don't press buttons. Just use your WASD controls now. We added those. They're awesome, right? It just feels like an odd choice, to say the least.
Need a sec.
That's what I mean, though. Honor mech being required is just dumb. Either takes that mech out or make the content not required for ascendancy. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I thought you meant, like, having to do a trial to, like, you know, prove you can get through or whatever. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah. And it's weird, too, to have it be, to have a piece of content, unless they did it for every class and it was like, oh, yeah, this kind of thing is hard on that class. But it just feels like if it was optional, no one would do, you know, the ascendancy or the, you know, the honor bound stuff. I don't think, because why would you? It's not even fun. So I don't think them making it optional would be a great solution to me. Not saying it's not a great solution, but to me, I don't think I would be happy with that. I don't think that would solve it for me. I just think they should change it. Period.
No room.
Okay, we're gonna have to go back. We got all kinds of swag here, and yeah, we got 2 spots left. We're not gonna be able to move anything around to save space. Otherwise, it'll always feel. Sorry, let me reread that. The making Sanctum a required point of progression was a pretty bold choice. The way that Supreme Cheeto is bold. That's what I mean, though. Honor mech being required is just dumb. Either take that mech out. Oh, yeah, okay. So take the mech out. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Otherwise, it'll always feel like it'll feel bad on certain classes. Yeah. It still is the best source of jewels in the later version. Okay, and the later version has uniques that only drop from it that are mega expensive. Okay. Well, that's... Have they said anything? I need to check and see if they've, like, friggin' like, you know, my bad would be good. Like, do they realize they've made a mistake here?
What?
Do they think everything's good? I hope not. That'd be tragic to hear. Oh, rarity of items 8%. You get 10%, but this one also has a slot. Oh my gosh, I should be checking for chest pieces. Ours is a little basic. Life flask, so 160. Yeah, melt that down. 63% increased life recovered. Oh, it takes mana. Okay, that's not a big deal. Chance to gain upon killing an enemy. Yeah, we'll just stick with what we got. Smaller flasks. Is that everything? I don't know if we got everything there that we wanted to. Yeah, we did. Okay, cool. Those boots are tempting to use. We're going to put them in the bank for right now. No, Dev. Response since Christmas. Only patch was to fix a dupe bug. Okay, so they might still also be mostly... mostly away or haven't had a chance. I'm sure it'll take them a bit of time once they get back to figure out what they want to do.
Speak up.
It's interesting. I've talked to some game devs, not with. I'm gonna buy this. I think ours kind of sucks. I've spoken to some game devs for some other games, not Path of Exile, and they've made games or been making games, and I've talked to them, been like, hey, like, yeah, I really like chatting with you guys. I like. It sounds like what you're trying to do is pretty cool, et cetera, et cetera. And then they've also gone on to like make some decisions that I was like, wait, what? Why did you do that? This seems like a really, and I've even been like helped playtest some of their games and just tried to convince them that like what they had planned was just not fun. And it's like, yeah, I would not play this game if you leave this kind of mechanic in it or this thing in it. And I don't think this is necessarily the case with Path of Exile. It's not really my point. I'm just kind of chatting, but I mean, it could be though. But I've had situations where they're just like, no, like this is the kind of game we want to make, and it's like, cool. It sounds like you want to make bad games, but I guess you got to do what you got to do. Make your game. You can't make somebody else's or whatever. But I felt that a little bit with some of the stuff by Nine Dots. I like their CEO. I like the guy in charge. He's a gamer. He, started a company. He was just a game developer. They have had some games that did really well, and I like some of them, but a lot of their games, not all of them, but a lot of their games, I'm just like, why did you do this? Like, this just seems, it's like, oh no, they really want games to be hard, to be difficult. But to me, it's like about desirable difficulty versus like, because you could make a game arbitrarily difficult. That's easy. I mean, scale up monster damage, whatever you want to do. It's really easy to do that. But making games desirably fun where you fail, but you just want to keep going. You just want to do it again because you'll get it next time kind of thing. And also having things where they scale so you're not throwing too much. All that stuff's hard to do. And yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of interesting, though, that you can have, like, you're like, hey, I like this company. I like these people. I've chatted with them. I really like it and everything. But I also, at the same time, think only the minority of their games will ever be for me. And then the other thing I've seen that's also kind of weird, and Daedric, you tell me, I don't know if you played recently Hexadome, which they had to change the name of to make it make more sense with what everybody was doing. They reworked a lot of that game. Like, they reworked a lot of the skills and everything. And I'm going to be honest, like, I thought it was great the way it was. And they did some pretty big reworks on it. And I thought it was like, put some polish on this, tweak a couple of things, but like, it's in a good spot. And I don't know if that's from listening to other people who, because some people give pretty bad feedback, if I'm being honest. Like, they don't, it's like, oh, this is bad. And it's like, well, you just don't understand the game, or you don't understand this. I don't know if it's from listening to people that maybe they shouldn't have been listening to or what. But I just thought it was really interesting that they have overhauled so much of that game when it's like, man, it was like 90% there. I feel like you just slap some polish on it and call it good. So it's kind of odd. Oh, don't die. No.
Need a sec.
All right, we survived. Oh, we got a little boss here. Have you always been there? They look cool. Like how we have our little NPC friend tanking for us. That's nice. I think a lot of creative director of smaller studios is based on initial ideas that they're married to and don't stray from. But part of improving is iterating while being open to people's pain points. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah, well, I think with Nine Dots, like, they would say that they have like core principles, pillars. That I think is a lot of the terminology that a lot of the game developers use. Like, games should be hard. They shouldn't hold your hand. That's a big part of it. And it's like, I don't know. Like, it's fine if you don't want to hold someone's hand, but then you have to make the game compelling to where I want to figure it out. And if it's not, like, I'll just go play something else. And the other thing with like indie games with stuff like that is like, I don't know if you just, to me, it comes off as like you just didn't think this through. And that's the problem with the game is if you would have thought it through, you would have made this better. Not like, oh, we did this intentionally. Ooh, forgot about that first hit.
I shall dethrone you, Sekama, and leave you to the sand.
Oh, where is he? Oh, there he is.
You, Sekama, and leave you to the sand.
A lot of people with games like that too, it's like a lot of people don't want to come home from work after, you know, and then have to like figure out a game, and they don't want a game to be that difficult. Most people I don't think do. So it's like, okay, you're already an indie studio or whatever, but even if you weren't, like, it's you're just making your audience even smaller.
The Malekith will fall by my hand.
CC'd? Okay, yes. I don't know if that's, is that the ice damage that's making them look a little bit? Oh, it is, I think.
Wrath of a king. The Malekith will fall by my hand. The Malekith will fall.
Okay, so this guy's shield, like shield or whatever, we're able to take down all the way.
The Malekith will fall. You.
Because his armor rather, not a shield. I thought he retreated. Does he retreat at 100%? I thought he retreated at like 50. When I was here on one of these characters, maybe it was the witch recently, I like burned this dude so fast that I swear it was like at 50%. He like ran off, but maybe not.
Of a king. I tried to seek peace.
All right, there he goes.
Sekama's disgraced me.
Oh no, this is still a mechanic.
Rot in the sand. This time, we choose war. We shall finish this, but not today.
All right, there we go. Difficulty is such a difficult subject to approach. There's so many ways to make it hard, a lot of which are just shit and only work when a lot of other things are in place to relieve it. Okay, PoE2 is falling into this trap with in-game, but I have no idea how much of it is going to be permanent versus we'll half-arched a lot of polish to get it out the door ASAP. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. There's also philosophies on that where I've heard people say like, sorry, this is game audio feels like really loud. The wind. I feel like there is an approach where it's like, hey, we're gonna do it. We're gonna go take like a first pass, and then we're gonna put it out and see what people think, and then we'll iterate on that, which I think can be okay. It kind of just depends on like how the studio approaches everything else with the game. Like, do they have processes in place to get that feedback, and then do they have good decision making, you know, ability, and also probably more than just ability, also like, you know, procedures for figuring out you know, what they should do and categorizing all that, and then deciding, okay, we're gonna run with this, we're not gonna run with this, and what have you. So yeah, but yeah, difficulty is that's fair. It is not trivial to figure out how to balance everything and find that desirable difficulty level and everything, and appeal to a wide audience, which is, I think, always desirable. I don't know that all studios try to do that as much as they maybe should, but obviously that, you know, you want to appeal to as many people as you can, because you want them to play your game.
Stay inside.
Yeah, it was really interesting to me though to get to chat with, like, I don't know, go into some of these events. I wish I could go to more. I don't think, like, they're not worth it. There's not enough developers at them. And then the game industry, the digital game industry, is like night and day different from the tabletop industry, and I think it's partial. I think probably a big part of that is like just general size, how much money is in it. And you have in the tabletop industry, you have a lot of people that are like, hey, I like to play tabletops. I made a game. I would love to show you my game. Check it out. And I think with digital games, it's so hard to get even if you are someone who's like, hey, I like games and I made a game and I'd like people to check out my game, almost no one wants to. And the scope of it's so much harder to make a digital product with a huge scope and everything else, where there's, you know, hundreds of people making the game in various aspects compared to like an indie dev, what they can do. And I think as like games become easier to make, we're seeing more of that, where like it is possible for them to make something really cool and everything. But anyways, they're just totally night and day. When I go to the tabletop, like they want to, you know, they'll give me a copy so that I could go check out their game. And it's not about people are weird. People think that like it's like, oh, you want free games or something like that. I already have more of every kind of game than I have time to play. I've got like a list of games that I need to play. I got games that I said, hey, send me a copy of this so I could play it on stream, and I haven't even had a chance to. But you know, they want the tabletop. They want to, whether it's board games or TTRPGs or whatever, they just want to showcase their product. They're like, if they can send you a digital copy and you can play it, they're more than happy to do that. They'll talk to you, they'll communicate with you and what have you, and they just want people to talk about. They know that they made a great product, or at least it's the best product to them. It's great, right? Even if I don't like it, and they've poured their heart and soul into it. A lot of them. Maybe it's a group of people that together have poured their heart and soul into it, and they just want people to see it, and that's what they do. Digital games, they kind of work so symbiotically, like almost makes it sound like it's not bad, and it is. But they work so well with the press, you know, the gaming press, which I think, I don't know, a lot of people that follow all this stuff would know that the gaming industry, like the press, is not very good. Like the reviews are typically really bad. They'll rate really great games, you know, at the same you know, rating that they rate terrible games, and sometimes it's even flipped. And the reason for that is because it's access journalism, right? Like we want the game early so that we can look at it and review it. And if you do that, because we want people to come to our website, and no one really wants to hear bad news either. So they're incentivized to give good reviews on everything, because people get mad if you review something, even if it is bad, unless it's just absolutely horrible. And even then, there'll probably be some people that'll be like, why did you rate Redfall poorly? Like, even though it was a buggy, you know, mess, there'll still be people that'll be mad and be like, yeah, that's, you know, messed up. So the games industry, where tabletop, they just want anybody to cover it. They just want some press, somebody to look at it, and they don't have control of the you know, of the traditional media, and so they don't work with them. They can't manipulate the reviews and everything else like they can with digital games, which they can. Yeah, for video games, reviews is all about getting first clicks and actually versus actually reviewing the product. Yeah, exactly. And so they give it to companies that they know are going to give a favorable review, no matter what crap they push out the door. And so,
Yes.
you know, that's
You
just
have your orders.
how it works. And they don't. The thing is, though, that they could also give it to. They could even be selective, but even then, they don't want to, because YouTubers, we have a responsibility. We have an incentive to work for our audience. And so if I do a review and I'm like, this game's great, and you're like, this game is garbage, you're going to be mad at me. You're going to be pissed off, and you're not going to watch what I have to say anymore. If your games radar or whatever it is, you know, I don't know, for whatever reason people don't, I mean, I don't know, they make fun of them and whatever, but you know, they got the SEO, and they're the only outlets that these companies are giving access to their games early. So if you want to know if you should buy a game before it's released, you can't go to your favorite streamer. You have to go to these more, I don't even know if I want to call them traditional media, but I guess they are more traditional media outlets to figure out if you should buy it, and you get a bad, you know. And there's all this stuff about like, oh, they don't have time to do all this stuff and what have you to tell if it's a good game. I think that that is a problem, but I don't think it's all of the problem. I think that that is often said like that's the whole of the issue, when I don't think it is. But because I've tried to do, you know, I mean, you play a game, you play it for a little bit and you're like, oh, this game sucks, or you're like, oh, this game's cool, and you could have a different opinion if you played it for a while. Maybe there was something in the beginning of the game that was really bad, or that was really good, but then it was limited. What was good about it kind of went away. But I think you would still do a better review than some of what we see. And I don't know how to, like, you know, combat that. I think recently I've watched a few videos where people in the ESO community were kind of talking about how you know, how games companies work, and I think I got a few comments from some videos, or I'm sorry, for some people that had watched and told me about check out this video or whatever, and I realized that it was a little bit like, oh, you don't. They're just like regular players, and I was like, oh, they were surprised with how something worked, and I was like, oh, you don't know how this works. The only thing that the games companies care about whenever they're trying to figure out who they're going to give review copies to or who they're going to communicate with, the only thing they care about is how big your audience is. They don't care how good of product you put out. They don't care about any of that. And I have found that the opposite to be true, again, in tabletop a lot of times, where they don't care how small your channel is. They care if you're going to spend the time with the product to be able to give a good review that is balanced and what have you. And I've gotten comments on those kind of videos from developers who are like, yeah, like we really liked your review. Like, yeah, we agree. Like the stuff you had to say that was bad, like we agree it's stuff we're working on, or, you know, or yeah, we could have done that better or whatever. And with digital game companies, they care how big your audience is. They don't care if you're someone who lies to your audience and tells them that the build that they're going to give you is insane and amazing and the best thing ever. They don't care if, and when your builds are garbage, or they're at worst like mediocre, or at best mediocre, but probably like actively, some of them actively bad, and they don't care about that. They just, you know, it's just how many people watch your channel, okay? And so it's a symbiotic relationship. We'll help promote you if you help promote our product, and so then you get this just kind of layering up on itself. Unless it's an MMO or a similar structure game, you can give a review without much time played, and it could be fairly accurate. Yeah. Insert thumbnail of big Chungus build. Hey, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's kind of funny because what I've seen this recently. I actually saw this with PoE. Man, can we turn this into a totally different kind of stream? I could pull someone up here and we could watch and do a little reaction in chat. What do you think, Daedric? There's someone in PoE who has played PoE 1, and that's most of what I think they do. And it was pretty funny to me because they reacted, and they basically made a video telling people not to, like, here's like some YouTubers that you just should never, like, you shouldn't watch the videos, because watching their videos will make you worse at the game and will make you like want to quit. And all right, let's do it. How do you does this pause? Okay, it pauses. All right, hold on, we'll pull it up. Give me a moment. I don't know if I want to watch the whole thing, but yeah, let me find, and I don't know anything about PO1 streamers or PoE2 streamers or anything like that. I want to say it was like Lily something. Let's try Lily PoE and see if it comes up. Do you know who I'm talking about? Can't type. DS Lily, there we go. Yeah. DS underscore Lily. Yeah. So, I just thought it was. I don't know if I want to do this. I just thought it was really interesting. She did a video like saying that like here's some people. Let's do it. Let's do it. Havoc. Let me find the video, guys. 1 second. She did a video like, "Hey, these are streamers you don't want to check out," and I thought that was really interesting. One of them, you'll recognize Daedric, and if you play ESO, you'll recognize because they also cover ESO content. And what these people do is they I think they called them, gaming tourists or whatever. I don't really think that's it, but they're just doing like surface level. Let me everything about what they do. So they sound good, right? They maybe got some good audio, they've got good editing and what have you. And so they have all this stuff, but the thing they don't have is any good content. And this is actually a problem more widely in the digital gaming space, where you have these YouTube creators where if you're new to a game, you don't know if someone's giving you good information or not. But there are a lot of channels out there that's all they're trying to do is tell people they're doing everything but having good quality substance. And so there's this problem where you might have someone who's doing really good substantive content, like someone like Skinny Cheeks, who does not have near the followers someone like Hack the Minotaur does. Daedric's like, yeah, there's like 5 ESO creators you can think of. Yeah. Well, those guys also cover other games. And so some of them cover, and they do the same thing. And so what DS Lily was doing is trying to warn everybody. I do have some criticism of some of the stuff that she said as well, which is good, right? Hopefully people would have criticism of some of the stuff I've done. You can criticize somebody, guys. I just want to say this. You can criticize someone. You can disagree. Daedric and I are friends. We can disagree. He could be like, no, you're totally wrong about that. And guess what? We can still be friends, okay? So just because you disagree with someone doesn't mean that they're bad and they're, and everything they say is wrong. I've been wrong before. We've all been wrong before. So that's also okay. So it looks like DS Lily is putting out a ton of content, so I don't know how far back this goes. I don't remember when this was. Let me see. These thumbnails are pretty busy, so it's a little hard to see. Let me just pull it out. We can look through it together, I suppose. And you know what? Let's that's not gonna. I thought that was gonna stop the game audio. Let's just mute it real quick. Cool. There we go. Oh, you know what? Let me pull up something else. Let me switch up here because we'll get ads on this account. So let me switch accounts. Here we go. Hold on. Okay. We got it. It's only 10 minutes long. It's not bad. So this is PoE2. Do not watch these bait creators unless you want to fail. Okay, I think this is it. And let me grab a link for this. We'll just put that in here as well for anybody who wants to see it. Cool, I'll put it in both chats here. Content cop, is that what it says? Oh, content cop. Yeah, there you go. Okay, yeah. All right, well let's see what she has to say.
4 channels you should never watch for PoE2. they almost entirely are giving you just regurgitated diarrhea that they don't understand to maximize videos for length and ad revenue at the expense of new players who don't know better.
So I have seen this video, so I just want to say I think she makes this point more than once, but the idea that they're maximizing it for length, I don't necessarily know that anybody's trying to maximize anything or optimize it for length, but her point is still valid.
And they just have huge pieces of misinformation in it that are going to ruin your experience. Like, it's not even small things. They usually have pretty big problems in them. And honestly, the PoE ecosystem is pretty good.
So this is absolutely true, and this happens in ESO. And I talk about ESO because I know it a lot better than PoE. ESO, like, if someone tells you that a build is unkillable, and then you go into content and you're dying all the time, well, what's the problem, right? And you might think it's you might think the game is dumb, and the problem is you were given terrible advice, or you weren't told the things. You were told that, like, oh, if you put on this set, it'll be amazing, you'll be unkillable, and you put on that set, and that set, it doesn't matter. That set versus another set is not going to make you unkillable. What makes you unkillable is your resistances and other things unkillable, right? And the same thing with DPS. If you're told that this set or this, whatever they're telling you is going to make you do, crazy amounts of damage or whatever, and then you get kicked from a group because your DPS sucks, what are you going to do? And what happens is that, people, you don't know, and you're like, oh, this guy has a really nice, formatted video. He's doing a bunch of videos. He has, over 100,000 subscribers. He must be doing good content, right? So, you would be led to think that. And then when someone tells you, like, oh no, Hack the Minotaur does terrible builds, like he's garbage or whatever, then they, instead of like listening to that, they get defensive. And then they, people, it's really easy to trick people. It's really hard to convince people that they've been tricked. This is just human, like, psychology. We have research on this. And so people just double down. You see it with politics too, where people might be, misinformation is spread, people hear about it, and then they think that they just want to double down on their guy being correct. Also, I think this is hilarious. I think she's reacting to somebody. Is she reacting to somebody? And then I'm reacting to somebody? I don't know. Let's click.
It was pretty hard to find these. There's really only a couple really egregious examples. Pretty much anybody that has created videos for PoE 1 in the past is pretty safe. I can think of...
Daedric says, my 40k shield DPS Templar stays alive when everybody else dies. Yeah, exactly. And doesn't do any DPS. It's really funny. I've actually had someone who came in, and I think... And I don't necessarily always attribute these people to the creator that they like, but it was Zynode in this particular case. And again, it's not necessarily always the creator's fault, but they, had a build that they were told was really good. And they said, oh yeah, I was holding the dome in some trial. You hold the dome, and the dome makes it where you can do damage to the boss and keeps the tank from dying. Somebody always has to be holding a dome on one side. So you don't need to know what the mechanic is, but there's a bunch of people, 12 people in a raid. 2 of them are holding these domes, and they're like, oh, I was able to hold it when everybody else was dying. It's like, well, your job though is to do DPS, not to hold the dome. And then I asked them about stuff. I was like, they said, oh, I was doing this one thing. And you're like, well, that one thing wouldn't actually help you. Like, oh, I was using this ability to heal. And you're like, but I was also using this ability to shield. And I was also using this other ability to heal. And you're like, wait, but you're on a 1-bar build and you have 5 spaces and 2 of them are heals and 1 of them's a shield. This doesn't make sense. And their story kind of breaks down. And what, experientially being in content with people like this, Daedric knows, is that what they're doing is like not doing their job. They're not doing any DPS. They're essentially a tank that's holding, doing one mechanic and probably not doing it very well. And then they said, oh, I have a whole bunch of health, and that's why I was able to survive. Well, the damage in that fight scales off your health. So the more health you have, the more damage you take. So it was like incongruous, and it was like, I think you're just lying because none of this stuff makes sense. And when I'm in content with people like that, they don't do very well. They still die, they do 0 damage, and just don't really help out the team in group content, which is the job. But they've been told by somebody that this build is great and that it's good for all content. A lot of times they'll say, oh, it's good for all content. No build is good for all content. I mean, it could be decent, maybe, but even then you probably don't mean PvP if you're talking about ESO. And so essentially what they're doing is just simply lying to people.
Around 3 creators who have actually ever put out a video for PoE1 that it was just...
Let's read this. 3 creators who actually main PoE and are actual streamers / content creators, not including super obvious bait channels that are up front that are a front to RMT or something. What is RMT? I don't know. I assume farm clicks or something. This is interesting. I don't think this is true because I don't think one of these creators mains PoE. I think they maybe pretend to.
So egregious that I was just like, wow, you are absolutely destroying noobs.
Oh, real money transactions. Okay.
Experiences if they listen to your video. I can think of about 3 creators. I'm not going to name them, but it is actually very hard to find people who just had absolutely terrible videos. Usually when PoE creators get flamed, their builds are like maybe 20% less than optimal or something. It's not like something super crazy.
So I'm gonna stop this a lot. This happens in ESO as well, where someone will do something that's like slightly suboptimal, and I do this. But when I do it, I'm generally speaking, I think this is almost universally true. I know that I'm giving it's maybe not the best. It's like 90% as good. However, it's a lot easier to use, which is what most people, literally 99%, if not more, of people, that's what they need in ESO, because yes, you can get a little bit more damage, but the damage is like a decreasing, how much you're increasing is actually like going down with each iteration, but the difficulty is just like going up asymptotically. So it's like, yeah, you can add a little bit more damage for a lot more effort, and it just gets more and more crazy. Not with everything. That's not always the case, but a lot of times it is. And so I'll do builds that are a little bit suboptimal, but they're very easy to use. Or sometimes it's like, oh, this is an easy to get set. I'm not telling you to go get this thing and change up your whole build for this thing that's going to take you days to farm. I don't like playing, I don't want to have to go farm stuff that hard to be able to, get a 1% increase in damage. It's not going to matter. And there's other things, how you play the game is going to matter far more than all that kind of stuff, because even if you get all that stuff and you have the perfect build, if you're bad at the game, it's not going to matter because you're going to be doing horrible anyways. But there are creators out there who I think are genuinely trying, but they are doing less optimal stuff. Again, I really like being optimal. That's what's fun for me, and it's kind of solving the equation. But there are creators that will do something that's pretty good, and they will also get flamed by this. And the in-game community can be really bad in ESO. The toxic part of the in-game community that is like, I had somebody commenting on one of my videos. It was like, oh, I have every trifecta in the game. This set is Zogvin's Warband is garbage because Reliquin and World of the Depths and a few other things these other sets are better. Well, Zogvin's Warband is really easy to use, and that's why I recommend it. And it's in a video that's saying, hey, if you only have one DPS setup, this is what it should be, because it'll work really good in all situations. All the sets they named that are better are only better situationally. Reliquin is only better on single target fights, and it's really hard to keep up, so it's really difficult to use well. And if you don't use it well, it's worse, objectively worse than everything else. World of the Depths, great set, often recommend it, but it can proc in a weird spot, and then it's just, again, objectively worse, and so on and so forth. And, I responded to this person and explained all this, which they should have known, and they just, they don't care. They did their shit post, they're moving on. Like yesterday when a healer got 20 pieces of advice for improvement when only 1 or 2 was realistically what they needed to hear at that moment. 100%. This happened yesterday. We finished a trial and VMAW, and we're trying to give a little piece. And I was doing it too. I gave them more pieces of advice that they strictly needed. But then all of a sudden, like, everybody's like, oh, but also you can do this. And it's like, well, the thing you're recommending will increase their heals a little bit. really what we need to do, and I realized it after the fact, after we had done this to this poor person, which I need to say something to them and apologize. But I realized, like, hey, really what we're saying is, like, have a good rotation and keep up all your hots, and then use this one use combat prayer whenever everything else is up. That'll get you there. That'll be a good improvement. Once you've gotten that down, we can move on to the next thing maybe. But they weren't just doing that. That's like in addition to all the other things they were doing, like keeping up their roaring opportunists, this Rojo and everything else. So there was already more they were doing, but it's like we needed to give them simple, consolidated advice that was actually helpful. And so what this creates in these communities is you have, these sweaty top tier players that are saying, oh, this person's garbage because their build is 10 or 20, she's saying 20% less optimal than somebody else's or mine or whatever. Well, honestly, if that person is explaining things better and explaining them how to use the build better, I mean, they're still helping and they're trying to help. And in that aspect, I'm like, yeah, I don't mind if they're trying. The issue is people that are lying. And there are some people that do a little bit of both, and that really muddies the waters and makes things pretty difficult.
Easy. So it's actually pretty hard to find really bad creators in PoE. We have it pretty good, but here's 4 for PoE 2 that are kind of game tourists trying to just cash in on the hype with bad information because they don't actually understand anything.
This is gonna. Oh, camera died. Thanks, man. I actually don't have. I forgot to charge my other battery. Here, let me just turn it off for right now. Thanks, man. She's going to use this phrase a few more times, game tourists. And I'm going to say, I think this is not, I don't know, Daedric, what is a game tourist to you, man? What does a game tourist mean to you? Because I think that it's not being used necessarily in a not in a wrong way, but just not in a helpful way. And I think I'm going to disagree here.
Number 1, in the most egregious of all, rage gaming. Yeah, I don't know. Like, the rage gaming single-handedly has probably made thousands of people stop playing the games they have made videos for because people will follow it and then just absolutely get demolished because the information they give is almost always just completely and utterly wrong and misleading. They always just say garbage diarrhea for 20 minutes to fill up for ads. And they'll say one thing and then like 1 minute later.
Yeah, I don't know if people are just saying garbage to fill up ads because they want to pretend like their knowledge is useful and you want to keep the things flowing, and it's YouTube. So you want to make your videos as short as possible, but that doesn't mean that they're not still doing things that aren't good. I also think there could be a situation where people just don't care about being super accurate and about giving good information. And so that could lead them to give a lot of bad information. Creators that jump on the big game release to put out surface level content to farm views from the larger gaming community. Okay. Yeah. And then, yeah, maybe that's spot on. And I guess my idea of a gaming tourist is a little bit, I think maybe in tabletop and other games, maybe it's used a little bit different. The idea of someone who's like a tourist in the gaming, I mean, what does that mean, right? Like the core of it is that a tourist is someone who doesn't live there, right? These are people that are passing through. And if you've ever lived in a tourist town, which I imagine a lot of people haven't, I have quite a few of them actually being in Colorado. When you're in a tourist town, like, and this goes no matter where you're at in the world, people, so if you're in someplace in Italy and most of the people come there are from Germany that are tourists, people there in that town will be like, oh, fucking Germans. That's what'll happen. And if it's Americans, they'll be like, oh yeah, effing Americans, and so on and so forth. When places in Colorado, when there's a bunch of tourists that come from maybe Texas, they'll be like, oh, the freaking Texans, right? And it's because when you're a tourist, for some reason you're just an idiot, right? Like you're standing in the middle of the street looking around And, you know, people are like, hey, I'm trying to drive here, right? You're a problem for everybody else. But I think that the idea of this is like, hey, you don't belong here. But the thing is, I guess with creators, it makes sense to me used in that context, but I think it's used to describe just players in general. And I don't think there's really so much of a thing as like a player who's like a game tourist, because if they're playing the game, they're playing the game. I mean, saying that they don't belong there is just a way of othering them. And if you can other somebody, then you can say whatever you want about them because they're not us, and you can just kind of, you know, but I get it here with creators specifically. That makes sense to me. Although as a creator, like, it also makes sense to me, even though I don't really necessarily do this, where you might want to cover something temporarily and just like, hey, this is new thing is out. Let me like cover this. Let me check it out.
They will completely contradict that one thing they said.
Sorry, let me go back. She made a good point here.
Completely contradict that one thing they said. They always just say garbage diarrhea for 20 minutes to fill up for ads. And they'll say one thing, and then like 1 minute later, they will completely contradict that one thing they said. Yeah. Like in this video, it's a video for getting the best currency guide. Well, it's not even close. Even their atlas tree they show is completely and utterly poop trash. Like, they waste a ton of nodes. They're not getting multiple really good things that would in fact make it the best currency tree.
Yeah, and I think she's going to make this point where this says best divine orbs and rare currency farming guide. They've made a promise. They've said like this is the best one, and she's saying this is objectively garbage. You can say that like it's good and not say that it's best. You can there's many ways of, and I've done this in videos where I'm like, here's a great way to do this, and someone might be like, oh, here's a better way. I'm like, oh, okay, I think my way's still good. Maybe the other way is objectively better. Maybe it's just different and it's better but much harder or whatever. That's being like honest. And I think maybe this is the issue, and this is the issue across the gaming industry as a whole, where you have people that do this, and we'll get into clickbait and stuff. There's a content that's fine to be a tourist with, like first impressions on X game, or stuff like I learned while trying X game, but the people who put out poor guides to farm views are extremely lame. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Okay. So I didn't realize that gaming tourist had that connotation. It didn't for me. I don't know if that's true for everybody, but I didn't have a connotation that this is the kind of specifically creators and creators doing this thing is what we're talking about.
If you want currency stuff, go watch Fubgun. They encourage bad trading etiquette in the video. They basically encourage you to price things low and leave them up, and don't sell the item if you get whispers and you reprice it up. Nobody should ever be encouraged to do that. You should price it higher and then lower it gradually over time if nobody bites. They said some other weird stuff too, like stay in the center of a breach. I don't know. They say a lot of weird things and then will immediately contradict it like 45 seconds later. In this video by them,
Okay, the example of the video is crazy. They don't even have the node that gives 40% drop bonus to currency on a certain biome. Okay, so yeah, just a complete, like, it's pretty garbage. Okay, that's fair. I don't know enough about this, and it's interesting because I'm the average player that might be watching this that would not know that this was such a bad guide, and this happens with every game. That's like making an ESO DPS build with no major sorcery or prophecy. Okay.
Do rankings of ascendancies, and it is pretty much, honestly, it's actually not as bad as I'd expect, but the way they go about it is just completely trash. And they basically just go by ladder rankings, which is not indicative at all of how good these ascendancies actually are. Like, if you see here, they're most, like, they don't understand the game, so they're mostly just looking at the ladder XP, which has nothing actually to do with the power of the build. They don't understand what actually makes the build strong. Like, they put Blood Mage in second to last. That is absolutely ridiculous. Alright, here we go. The next offender the number 2 worst.
All right, let's see what this title is. Top 5 most broken builds right now. Okay. Yeah, this is hilarious. These guys that do this, Hack the Minotaur does this, where ESO has sponsored him to put out a video, and the video he chose to make, I guess they just said make any video. I don't know what they told him, but the video he chose to make, and again, it says sponsored on it. This is all like public information, was the top 5 builds for the Endless Archive or something like that. And he just lists his builds, which is like, I mean, that's just fucking hilarious, right? Like, oh yeah, sure, you want to sponsor me to do a video? Let me just tell people to watch my other videos that I have. And the thing is, his videos aren't good. They're not. They're generally speaking not good. Maybe one of them is like good or is kind of okay, but it's hilarious that they do that. It's just like, oh yeah, watch my other videos. It's like, I don't know that you could even make it. I didn't even know this was a thing, but yeah, I think that's kind of funny. I guess we'll see what she has to say about him.
On this list is Kide Games. I don't really know what else they do. I've heard some people say. Actually, I won't even go into hearsay. It's not. I'm just gonna go on what I do know. So I watched the video, and it's the top 5 most broken builds right now, and this is from 1 day ago. So this isn't like released 2 days after release where nobody really knew what was strong. This is 1 day ago, 3 weeks after release, and it is just super wrong. Like, top 5 most broken builds, and they say Galvanic Shards Witch Hunter. This is not even average. This is a below average build in the game right now. This build is probably in the bottom 80 percentile of builds.
20% out. Okay, so this is like the bottom 5th of builds. Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of stuff that you see, the same thing with ESO, where it's like someone's told to build. And again, the problem here for anybody who maybe is like, well, what's wrong with someone trying to do build guides and like making bad ones? First off, there's nothing wrong with someone trying and failing and just doing the best they can. The problem is when they say like, this is broken, this is so like, it's so good that it feels broken, or this, this is so good that like you can do whatever content. And then you go try to do that content and it doesn't work out for you. You're going to feel bad, and you probably will blame the game, and you might blame other people. If you're in group content, which doesn't happen with PoE, but you get kicked out of the group because you were told this tank build is unkillable and you don't even have to block. And then you're getting killed doing basic trial stuff, and you're so bad and you don't know how to play the game at all. And you were told to do these things that make no sense. People aren't going to try to spend 20 minutes, probably would take longer, right, to sort you out, because everything about what you're doing is wrong, and everything they tell you to correct you, you're like, well, this creator told me to do something different than what this person is telling me. And so they have to, like, the effort, if you just came in a blank slate, would be less than if you watched a video by one of these people doing bad builds, doing poor builds. And so it ruins people's play experience, and this is what upsets me and a lot of other people. ESO at least has different axes of content, so a build that can be broken or OP and not terrible if you ignore certain parts of the game. Yeah. I mean, and I think that's part of it too. That's how a lot of them get away with this. Also, is that they say, oh, this build is broken, and then they only show someone running around doing overland content. Overland content, once you reach max level, it can be difficult when you level up, but once you reach max level content, for anybody that doesn't know, it's a joke. It's like trivial. It's like literally press 2 buttons and everything dies. Generally speaking, there are exceptions and whatever, but like it's really easy. And these guys will be running extremely easy content in their videos over and over again, and like, oh, look how great this build is, and they're showing them killing mobs, but you don't realize the mobs they're killing are like a joke, and you don't need a build for the content they're showing you because it's that easy.
It is not anywhere close to the most broken build. Then on top of that, when I looked at their tree, it is completely and utterly
okay.
poop.
So I don't. So I'm new to PoE too, right? I've never played PoE 1, and I can look at this and go like, this probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless it's like because this is a lot of tracking around the map without taking, there's almost certainly nodes that would be really good to take unless there's like, they're doing some 4D chess and the handful of things that they actually fill out here. So the straight lines, for anybody who doesn't know, aren't really doing much for you. They mostly just give you max resources. It's the little interesting shapes that give you stuff. So they got some crossbow thing, whatever this is. They got a handful of things, but each one of these nodes along the way, there's a bunch of them here. You can't hardly see all of them, but that's just like traversing to get to the good stuff. I could see how this to me looks wrong. Okay, just even as someone who's new to PoE, this looks like this would probably not be the best idea in the world.
Like, I do not know what they are doing. They waste 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 points for resolute tech. Okay,
all to get your hits can't be evaded, but never deal critical hits. Okay, so you don't have to worry about accuracy. That's interesting.
Instead of clicking 4 accuracy nodes. I do.
Instead of clicking 4 accuracy nodes, I wonder if you can get your accuracy to a point where you don't have to worry about it and you always hit. I'm guessing that's the case. This build is not doing that.
Not understand how they have the gall to say best broken build in the game. It is just really mind-boggling. And then totem warrior build, like, come on, dude. Ice strike monk is at least a good build. Grenade mercenary, Jesus Christ, not even close. Like, and all of the trees are just really, really bad. That I think even most new players would not have trees that bad. And then moving on, we have Utopia. Likes to use the word best again when it's in fact not the best. To be fair, he is kind of using the best build. Basically what he does is he takes the best build, which is pretty much Archmage at this point, and he makes it like worse. So he takes the best build and then he makes his guide for it, which is just an incomplete guide.
So sorry, did I miss something? So you're mostly right, but some builds run out of good nodes. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that one. My bad. So you're mostly right, but some builds run out of good nodes to hunt for and start just grabbing and empty jewel slots, as you'll get more power from jewels than nodes. This build is not doing that. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, thanks, man.
Like, there's no gear, there's no equipment here. I'm not just pooping on noobs making builds. It's fine for noobs making builds, but you cannot call it the best, like, noob. So then in his videos, right, he doesn't really showcase...
The other thing is that, like, you don't need to do that. You can just say, like, here's the build. You don't need to necessarily call it the best. I know people do that, and I know that there are people that literally will Google, like, best build for X. That's not how search works, people. And if someone is like doing that, and I've known people that done that, you just don't do that, guys. If that's you, please don't do that. All you're going to get is people that are literally doing this. Just, Google the build. You don't need to put best in there. And if someone is telling you that, if someone's trying really hard to sell you something, you got to wonder why. If someone is just telling you what something is and what it does, they probably think that those things speak for themselves. And this is true, like, regardless of if you're talking about games or if you're talking about buying a car. Okay. If someone's telling you how this is the best, most amazing car, and you're like, I don't know, man, I'm not sure I want a 1993 Geo Metro. Like, they're like, no, it's the best car, like, maybe not. If they tell you that, like, hey, it's got a lawnmower engine, but it gets, 50 miles to the gallon, then you go, oh, okay, at least you know what you're getting into there.
Real bosses, because of course he's not one-shotting bosses.
For all of those people that are way too young to know what a Geo Metro is, I do encourage you to Google it.
He's not even doing maps. He is in campaign, and he's doing no damage. Like, How I don't understand. I don't know how. I mean, to be fair, he shows he's doing no damage, but I don't know how he. Stop using the word best. Stop lying.
To
You're
be
not
fair, they're showing
one-shotting
how bad the
anything
build
except
is.
your own character. He says things that don't really make sense. He doesn't understand certain game concepts, and it's just completely misleading to players. At one point in one of the videos.
So part of the issue with this is that this person hasn't done the research and put in the work and the effort to make good content. One of the problems, this kind of comes back to what we were talking about before we even started watching this, is that the issue is that it's hard to make good videos. Okay. People think people that have never tried YouTube sometimes will say like YouTube's easy. The thing is, it's really difficult to make a good, high quality video. It takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. And even once you've been doing it for a while, obviously it gets easier. Things, you have processes in place and stuff like that. But it's really difficult to make a good, high quality video. The thing is that you can spend all that time, all that energy, and all that effort and make a really good, high quality video, and it kind of doesn't matter a lot of times. It doesn't even like it won't necessarily equate to views. But if there's other things you can do that will get people to watch your video regardless of the content. And then one of the things that happens that we were talking about earlier is that the game companies, they don't care what quality of content someone is producing. They care how many people watch their videos and how many subscribers and stuff they have. They care about their reach. It's all about marketing. And so they want to find people that get the most clicks and most views. And most of the time, this isn't true of every game company too, by the way, but much of the time, they don't even care. And this happens with ESO a lot, where they want people who get the most views. They don't care if they're literally lying to their own customers as long as they get the views. So what happens is that the people that are making really high quality videos, it's incredibly hard for someone like Skinny Cheeks to make it in ESO versus someone like Hack the Minotaur to make it in ESO. Elder Scrolls Online is actively, pushing maybe both their contents, but they'll actively push Hack the Minotaur. They'll pay Hack the Minotaur to do a video where he tells you about how great his other 5 builds are, even when they're not great. And they're fine with that because it gets people playing the game, which is the only thing they care about. And they don't really, it's hard for the game companies to draw a direct line between this person is giving bad information to people quitting the game or having issues or causing strife within game or any number of other things, causing strife within the community where someone's like, oh, don't use Hack the Minotaur, he's garbage. And you're like, well, I've been using a Hack the Minotaur build for 3 months and it works great. I run around Overland and it's kind of hard, but I can barely get through it. And so like his build is working for me. And you're like, oh man, if you just knew the basic mechanics of the game, like Overland wouldn't be hard for you. But in their experience, it's working. And so when you say Hack the Minotaur is bad, they go, well, I'm a rational person and I make good decisions. And you're telling me that this person is bad, but I've decided that they're good. So you must be bad. Is how the logic goes. And then it creates these needless rifts, and it does lead to people quitting the game and needless, but they can't draw a line between like, oh, we promoted Hack the Minotaur and people quit the game. And also, if he gets 100 people, but 5 of them quit, or if he gets 100 people, but 50 of them quit, 50 people still join the game. And most game companies, they don't really care. They're just all in it for the money. So it doesn't really matter. This Night Horror guy is talking like he made 50 build guides for a game. I mean, I have.
I don't know if it's this one or his other one, but he's playing an energy shield build, right? And then he says basically not to worry about energy shield on your gear. He took off his boots, which were energy shield, and he lost 500. And he was like, look, no big deal. I only lost 500 energy shield.
That's crazy. That's a lot.
It's crazy. I don't get it. I don't know how you can unequip your boots, see you lose 500 life effectively. It's actually more like 1,000 because with Grim Feast it doubles. So I don't know how you can look at that and be like, oh yeah, that's fine. Don't even worry about it. And now coming in as the least atrocious one, but
This is going to be hilarious. The least atrocious. This is crazy.
Still, do not look at these videos. Hack the Minotaur.
Listen, if someone tells you they're a hack, you got to listen to them, okay? Yeah, the least. I know, Daedric. This is wild. He's the least. Best starting classes for Path of Exile 2 are broken. Okay.
This one is not as bad. It's just kind of like the best starting classes, and then he doesn't really even talk about a real build, like best beginner builds. He doesn't really talk about a build. He kind of goes through the video and just
he's lying is what she's trying to, because he doesn't do what he says he's doing in the, at least that's what she's saying. I'm not saying that. That's what it sounds like she's saying.
Lists a bunch of random stuff. He says some incredibly misleading things like your gear doesn't really matter, and it's all
that's crazy. Gear matters a lot.
in your skill gems, when
It's all about
the
gear.
opposite is really the case. Like most of your damage is from your gear.
So there's two situations here. One, he doesn't know and he's just completely ignorant and he's just saying things that he thinks are true. But he hasn't bothered to, he clearly hasn't played the game. If he played the game a little bit, he would know. Yeah, sounds like a hack. Yeah, if he played the game a little bit, he would know that this stuff isn't true. And so that's also the crazy thing, is that like it's basic info, but it's like wrong and it's bad information. Or he knows and he doesn't care, or is just lying to people to make them think that, like, I don't know. I don't know why you would do that. So I assume it's the former. But you lie to people because it's easy and because it gets them to click on your videos. So I guess that's also true. When was the hack video posted? I don't know. We could pull that up next, man. I don't know if I want to do that. Let me see. Hold on. Where are we here? Let's
have played through the campaign. You know that's.
What is this? It's hard to see. The best starting classes for Path of Exile 2. Hack the Minotaur. Best starting classes PoE. Let's see what we get here. Best starting class. Is this it? Or broken? I think this is it, right?
Have you been struggling with?
Okay. Cool.
True, like you get a good gear upgrade and it is immediately noticeable.
If this is day like 1 or 2, I kind of understand it. Yeah. So this was 2 weeks ago. And I think her point with most of the stuff is that this was not like on launch day. So 2 weeks after launch, so no excuses. Yeah, I mean, of course not. I mean, you're not surprised by that, really, though, Daedric, right? Like, this is the kind of content this person does, so,
Other than that, he clearly hasn't played very far in the game. He's just farming views with using the...
And this is what he does with everything. He plays really, like, low-level content, which is, it's fine to not be very far in the game. It's not fine. If you guys knew how much effort it takes to make a video on YouTube, especially a high-quality one, it takes a ton of effort. And so to this is the thing I think a lot of people don't. They're like, oh no, this person is probably just doing the best they can. It's like, no, this person has hundreds of thousands of subscribers and makes a ton of videos and has been for years. And it takes a lot of effort to make a video. And to make poor quality videos is a lot easier than making high quality videos. But it's like, oh yeah, they really are not putting the effort in here. They're just making videos. I don't know. But it's working.
Best. Another game tourist.
Yeah, it's good to give the benefit of the doubt. That's fair.
You can see.
We should.
I don't know. In the video, he's like playing. Like you hand your controller to your 5-year-old cousin. He clearly doesn't know what is happening. Yeah, I don't know. I really wish people would stop being intentionally misleading with their videos. It's not great.
PS game tourists are fine if they don't like reviews. That's fair. Cool. That's the end. Yeah. I must have seen a different video of hers where she talked about thumbnails and stuff like that. And it was kind of interesting because she talked about like, basically like, oh yeah, thumbnails, we all know you got to do what you got to do on a thumbnail, but like, you know, in the title or part of the video. And it's like, I mean, do we all know this is a bigger problem for gaming in general? Let me see if I can get my camera on actually for this part, because I think I'm going to be chatting for a minute. Dramatic pause. The battery might die after just a few minutes. The charger on this thing doesn't exactly. There we go. So the problem, the issue here is that, you know, yeah, it ruins people's experiences playing games, but the issue is it doesn't matter if you make good, high quality videos in digital gaming, because that doesn't really seem to have a lot to do with how many views you get, which is crazy and it's wild. And then game companies also don't care if the creators that they are like, you know, on part of their team or whatever, they don't care if you're making good quality content. And then the other thing is viewers, you know, they're watching this stuff, right? Like they don't know. And so like, it's not really their fault. These guys have worked really hard to make seemingly high quality videos that are actually not at all high quality. And this is a huge problem for me as someone who wants to make full-time guides for games and to help people play and enjoy games. But it's a problem for everybody. And I don't know what the solution is. I just know it's pretty broken. I don't, she has a thumbnail tier list, which was hilarious. Don't think that's what you're talking about. No, that's not what I'm talking about. No, but that is kind of funny. I'm interested. But you know, that's the problem, is that there is a huge issue if you're trying to make good, high quality content and then you get grouped in with people that aren't. And you know, a lot of the sweatier people at these games, like she was talking about, is someone makes a video that's 80% right, and they're getting flamed for the video that's 80% as good as the best build. That's part of the problem. Is because if you have these people that are basically being like elitist and are like, oh, this build is garbage. Is it garbage if it's 80% as good? I don't think that's garbage, right? Like, you know, you can't use those phrases and throw them out there. And if that person is also trying to communicate well and guide people on how to play the game and everything else, and they're doing a better job of that, that also has value. And, you know, when you say that somebody is who's doing an 80% as good of build is garbage, well, they basically say, well, this person's wrong. And if they're going to say that these builds are garbage, oh, they think everything is garbage. Oh, only the elite that do the 100% maximum optimized build, no matter how sweaty or difficult it is, no matter how, if it's going to take you, you know, 48 hours to farm the gear for this build or whatever, that is the issue. And I don't have a solution to this. It's a huge problem. It's been a problem for me for quite a while, and I don't know what to do, but it is certainly something that is going on. I kind of want to just watch part of this video. Can we do that? And then we'll call it there, I think.
With Path of Exile 2 or are still looking to pick it up, then you're probably wondering what's the best starting class right now in the game. Well, in this video, I'll be diving into the best possible starting classes for beginners who may be new to Path of Exile or have limited experience.
Okay. The truly alpha builds work like poor grammar and spam emails. It's so bad that people in the know just ignore it because they're not even trying, while the clueless people have no filter for quality. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And you would think that game companies would try to, they don't want to be the arbiter of this, right? But like they should know, and there's more they could do. Not all game companies, but ESO is guilty of, again, promoting people who do objectively poor quality and bad content that is detrimental to the people actually playing the game, to their enjoyment.
With the original, these classes, along with the basic build ideas I'm about to share, are absolutely easy mode when it comes to getting started in this.
Yeah, and this is the same thing they do. They tell you it's easy mode, right? Let me tell you the thing that's going to be easy. We'll see.
Game. They all have strong damage options, great survivability, and easy to master.
Right. This you could just cut and paste on anything, right? They do great damage, strong survivability, right? Like this is just this. I mean, he probably cut and pasted this script from something from ESO.
Mechanics plus they're just
easy to do mechanics.
It's really, really fun to play. Before we get started, a huge thanks to Path of Exile 2 for sponsoring this video.
There you go. See, this is the fucking problem. Path of Exile sponsored Hack the Minotaur to make a build or a video. Yeah, this is the problem. This is it right here. I didn't know this until we watched this. This is the fucking problem. Path of Exile.
And getting me involved in Path of Exile 2's early access release. I have been having a blast so far trying.
I'm sorry, it's hard. This is the problem. You know, and again, they don't care and they're not looking at this. And I actually think that like Jonathan, the people over at what is it, GGG? I think these guys like do care. Okay, I do think they care, but they're not doing their homework or whatever. And most game companies, I don't think care. Yeah, it's infuriating.
Every class in the game, tweaking and perfecting my builds, and generally just playing non-stop. Path of Exile 2's early access features 6 classes, 120 skill gems, hundreds of different equipment base types, more than 100 unique bosses.
Cool. So this is all filler information. He's just telling you random stuff. This is what a lot of them do. They tell you a bunch of random information that you could find, you know, anywhere. Like, does it, you know, I mean, cool, knowing the number of bosses or something. He's just promoting the game. And that's what the company cares about, by the way. So they don't really mind that he's doing it, but this is just filler things to make it seem, it's not about padding for runtime. I think that's the point that Lily had made, but I don't think it's padding for runtime as much as it makes it seem like they're giving you really high quality information. And it makes it seem like they know a lot about the game when we'll find out.
As well as couch co-op, crossplay, and cross progression. And you too can check out Path of
Exile. And he also might have gotten a read of saying, hey, please include these parts of information that like you could do couch co-op and what have you. So there's also that possibility.
Exile 2's early release on Steam, Epic Game Store, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5 right now for just $30, which also includes 300 points players can spend in-game. Plus, there are also higher-end supporter packs players can choose from, which includes special character customization. The pinned comment below. And to learn more, just click to the first amazing class on our list, and an extremely easy option for beginners, which is this Sorcerer's class.
How many classes is it going to talk? Class number 3. So we're going to go through. Okay, so 3 classes out of 6 or 7.
Path of Exile 2's Masters of Elemental Damage. The sorceress in this game can be extremely powerful with the right setup. As you can harness.
This is again the same stuff, right? And I mean, I don't know. I should take notes and make my videos like this, apparently. But like, oh yeah, it's powerful. This is, you know, big, right? They use a lot of words that doesn't really mean anything, right? Like, yeah, okay, it's powerful. I mean, is the game company trying to make some classes more powerful than the others? No, like I don't
Aspire
know.
And Lightning for great damage options, as well as powerful.
Yeah, Fire and Lightning for great damage options, as opposed to using other kinds of damage options that aren't Fire and Lightning. Again, it's nothing wrong with it. It's just again, it's filler. It doesn't really make any sense. It's just trying to sound like
cold magic for crowd control and freezing
sense.
Your enemies in place. The sorceress is excellent at dealing with crowds of enemies this way and blowing them up quickly, while it can also nuke bosses very effectively by combining all of its elemental damage types together. But the sorceress is not just all about offense.
That part was actually true.
You can actually spec into a more defensive build right at the start if you want to by focusing on energy shields in the class path.
He had individual starter build videos as well. Pretty funny to look at.
A tree which will help you absorb damage before it can get to your life. So you can effectively have some extra protection options. You know, they're there if you need it early, which I found to be very helpful. Let's talk about some specific skills next, which also make the sorceress such a great option to start with in Path of Exile 2. Now first you have Spark, which is a skill that casts multiple lightning projectiles out from you along the ground. And I really like this skill because it can easily damage groups of enemies, but also the sparks can kind of come together in single target situations like for boss fights for even more damage. Now, the downside to this starting ability is that it is a bit slow and your character also needs to slow down in order to cast it. So you'll need to be...
So this is like a tour of a class, basically, is all he's doing right here, which I don't actually find anything wrong with this.
Intentional about where you start casting to help avoid damage, but this can also be countered by using...
He's giving you basic information that you would like find out through like playing, which
gems focused on
there's nothing wrong
increasing
with
that
this
speed.
To me.
To start with, for example, you could use the Acceleration gem to provide 40% more projectile speed, and then you could also combine that with the Arcane Tempo gem for even more speed. But what really amps up the damage on the Sorcerer's class early in Path of Exile 2 is combining projectile skills like Spark with another powerful skill called Flame Wall. This skill creates a wall of fire on the ground which does fire damage over time when an enemy walks through it, but it also
Yeah, I mean, all this is fine, actually. I don't have any issues with any of this.
sort of that pure caster archetype in your ARPGs. If you want to master the elements of fire, cold, and shock magic, and you like playing it from a distance using a staff and magic armor with energy shields to protect you, then check out the Sorcerer's class. It's a ton of fun to play and very powerful. But if you're looking for a class that packs a bit more,
I think he just says things are like powerful as like a, that's, and some people say or whatever when they're thinking. He just says some things like powerful and insane and crazy or whatever. Is this a good hack video? Hey man, maybe, I don't know. He has, yeah.
more punch, like let's say explosives, for example, then I highly recommend you check.
Yeah, something that packs more punch, like explosives. That doesn't really mean anything. And does it pack more punch? No. Does it do more damage? Not. I mean, I don't. Maybe, but probably not. I know. Certainly, he hasn't done the research to know if it does, and I don't know either. But this is like just kind of a filler word. It's kind of like saying something's like awesome and amazing or whatever.
Check out the next
It's not that big a
class
deal.
on our list, the extremely beginner-friendly and powerful mercenary class.
It's powerful.
So
Everything is powerful. Everything is everything I'm
Mercenary's
telling you is
playstyle
powerful.
revolves around maintaining distance, controlling the battlefield.
I guess maybe I'm hating. Maybe this is just what I need to do. I just tell people about how powerful and awesome the build guides I'm doing are constantly within the video.
In dealing high bursts of damage through a variety of crossbow-based skills plus grenades. Whether facing large groups of enemies or challenging bosses, the mercenary is a great option to handle anything that this game can throw at you if you build it right. A few ideas on that note.
I mean, any build should be able to handle, right? Like anything the game throws at you if you build it right. This is like saying stuff but not really giving people useful information. It's not the end of the world. It's just it's fine.
Of recommended skills
it's sales tactics.
Is to start with the cold damage based skill called Permafrost Bolts. This skill can quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he's just going to go through. And I don't actually have a problem with this particular build. I have a feeling that Lily probably watched. Actually, I think I've seen some of those other stuff where the people that she's talking about, like she's watched more than just one of their builds, and I think we know from ESO that this can be true. Also, just if anybody is like, oh, it seems like we're being really harsh on this one person, Hack the Minotaur. Hack the Minotaur had builds on his channel, on his website that had fake parses, like they were fake numbers. They actually like went in and like faked the numbers to make the builds look like they did more damage than they did. And there are people that had to like experimentally determine that was not true. And there's kind of an issue with misinformation. There's a rule of thumb that people use. I don't recall what it is, but basically like it takes you like 10 times as long to disprove misinformation than it does to just spout misinformation. And so what people will do, it's called a gish gallop, but they'll just, and I think it's named after a person, but they'll just keep saying things that are incorrect, and you can't prove them false because it takes 10 times as long to prove something is not true than it does. I can say the world is flat. Well, if you're going to prove that it's not flat, that's going to take you a few more than, my one line, right? And even though that seems simplistic, it's the exact same logic holds. And so, anyways, but this is someone who's like, and I never saw any sort of apology video. And I was curious because I looked around that saying, anything about that. He just never said anything about it, even though he was like posting fake numbers presumably to get views and to get people to go to his website. So that's like something we know for a fact. So that is part of the issue, right? And usually, my perspective in life, right? If someone lies to you and someone does things that are, if someone lies to you and that just bold-faced lies to you and they're clearly lying to you to manipulate you, I wouldn't trust them with anything else, okay? And like the best thing for him was to not do a video on it, right? He just keeps going on and making content and doing whatever he's going to be doing. That's the best. That's the thing that he should do. And so I guess it's it's working out for him here to the point that Path of Exile is paying him to make videos. So that's part of the issue. There is some real like concrete, provable, issues with stuff like that. I mean, he's selling the class with fluff. The video seems fine if it didn't have the Garbo title, but that's a YouTube issue in general. Yeah, I don't see. So yeah, Daedric, I mean, I think this is part of my point too, is that I don't think this is a YouTube issue. I think that this is a us issue. Like we have to stop rewarding people when they do this. And it's just a problem with people being good consumers of information. But yeah.
Build up the freeze effect on enemies and bosses, and when enemies are fully frozen, you can then do bonus damage with your other shotgun-like skill called Fragmentation Round.
Yeah, he's just telling you the basics of the game here. Yeah, I don't have a problem with any of this. Well, I mean, that was a long meandering thing here. I think Daedric has been the only one chatting, guys. I know there's more people watching, so if you have anything to comment or you have any questions or anything, drop them in there. But I think we'll wrap up here and call it for now. When we're done here, I'm gonna go watch a bunch of Hack the Minotaur videos, and I'm gonna take some notes. Because clearly there's a formula that he's using that's working for him that is not, I'm just joking. I'm not going to do that. But I don't want to change the way I do builds. But it is a problem. And I think the biggest thing that if you're like, yeah, this is a problem, the biggest thing that like you as a person can do is, if you see people that are making good build guides, share those build guides and tell other people about them. And I'm not talking about me. I don't care. But just do this in general, because that's what needs to happen. And the other thing that needs to happen is that these kind of people, so I think a lot of people would say what DS Elite, like there are people that will say this is a drama video or something, to me, this is just someone who's like pointing out like, hey, don't use these build guides because they're not good and they'll make your experience worse. And we need more of this. Like, I don't want this drama. I don't want to, do videos like this. But we need that. We have to call people out when they're doing it, and also calling companies out. Like, this is really bad that a company would do this, but companies do this all the time. I personally just feel like this is just the state of the digital gaming industry right now. And obviously I can't fix I can't fix it. And so I'm kind of in a situation personally right now where I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. I would love to make really good, high quality videos and guides for people, but it doesn't really matter if I do that, if I can't get people to watch it. And it seems like, sorry, I know the camera died again. And it seems like, I don't know. It's just not working. So I'm not really sure what to do, but I am going to keep making videos and guides in the meantime. And maybe somewhere along the way we can figure it out. Clickbait titles farm uninformed audiences. That's never going to change outside of creators choosing to not grow their audience off of it. Yeah, I think you could make, so here's the thing, man. I think you could make a really interesting video and title and it not be clickbait. I think you can fulfill on the promise, and there is a certain amount of, like I made a, let me see. Did I name it Super Chungus build? Is it still somewhere? Oh, here we go. Cool. So maybe I don't want to click on it. See this thumbnail? Unkillable God mode, infinite sustain, Super Chungus tank build for all classes. Okay. So I mean, maybe this isn't perfect, right? But unkillable God mode, I did the clickbait. Infinite sustain, again, more clickbait. Super Chungus. I hope my point there was like, this is a joke, right? Like, I'm making fun of this. It's clickable. Hopefully it's funny. And then, hopefully I fulfill on the promise of this video being both funny and still informative and what have you. I think there are ways of doing this that can be fairly useful. The other thing is like, maybe, I don't know, to me, I try to make thumbnails that look really good, right? That aren't too busy or whatever, and just kind of promise. So like, this one, they say 1 bar, 92K. I hope that I do a good enough job of delivering that on that promise that I don't really need to do anything else. These videos here, this is the video is done very well. The only DPS setup you need. It literally is the only DPS setup you need for PvP, for PvE, not PvP, which I think some people commented. I wasn't trying to trick anybody. I just didn't. I don't usually think about PvP. It really does fulfill on that promise, and I don't think it's clickbait if it fulfills on it. Yeah, if you don't fulfill the promise, it's a bad video. Clickbait at this point just means extremely catchy title meant to get people in. Yeah, I think clickbait to me though is like it's clickbait when I would disagree on the new definition you have there. I would say that to me clickbait is like something that promises one thing and doesn't deliver. If it promises something and it delivers, then I don't think it's clickbait. But you probably just mean clicky or whatever. I don't mean to argue semantics, but yeah. Anyways, it's been fun chatting, man. Daedric, thanks for, I stayed up way later than I thought I would. Guys, if you like the channel, you like what I have to say, you want to hear more, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. And we'll catch you guys later. I think for ESO, for anybody who might be tuning in, I actually think I'm going to start trying to do one build a week until I've gone through all the builds. And I'm going to spend as much time as I can, but as little time as it requires so that I can get out one build guide a week moving forward. And I think that's what I'm going to be doing. I think there's a lot of people quitting ESO, and I would actually like to double down on it and maybe try to capture that audience. Because one thing that is definitely true, and one thing that I've been trying to do for a long time, is I want to build up audience trust. And that's the thing to me that I'm trying to do more than anything, is I want to give the best advice I can. And my hope is that even though it might take a lot longer to build an audience than if I did other things, I hope that I'll build a core audience that knows that even if I'm wrong sometimes, which I will be, I'm trying as hard as I can to give the best information possible to everyone. And I think that even if we don't, one day ESO will die and we'll be playing something else. And I already do, Helldivers videos and what have you. And my goal is that you'll say, hey, does Night Haro have a guide on this game? Because I know his guides are good. And you can, have guides that are so good that someone's like, oh, Night Haro Gaming, he has great guides and great videos. And if he's done something on a game, you can trust that it's going to be good and high quality and useful information. Even if I'm late to the party, even if I'm not the biggest streamer out there or the biggest YouTuber out there, that's what I really try to do. Anyways, I appreciate everybody for watching. Daedric, I really appreciate you guys. And when I say I appreciate you guys watching, I would love to do this, as a job full time, for the rest of my days. I really enjoy it. And so you guys watching, I mean, that's what it takes, right? Like I have to be entertaining and high quality enough in my content to make content that you guys like. So if you are watching it and you feel like I'm doing that, or if you're just like, hey, you think I got promise and maybe I'll get there one day, but I'm not quite there yet, I appreciate you guys watching and appreciate you sharing it with other people so that, we can grow the channel here. Anyways, you guys have a great evening and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.